Welcome back to Factory Sealed. It is November 4th, 2018. My name's Eric Peters, and joining me today, Mr. Dan Curtis.
Hello.
Ooh, formal. What was that?
I don't even know.
Jeez,
I used up my dumb in the Unwrapped this week.
Let's just do normal. Hello.
Hello, my name is Dan Curtis.
Mm-hmm. We got Mr. Mike Tyson.
Hi.
All right. Well, let's see where this goes. And finally coming back to join us, Mr. Tom Ragan.
Good morning, gentlemen. I wish you'd just squeak your chair as a greeting. Just not said a word.
Now, if anybody hasn't joined us from the Unwrapped portion of the show, Tom, tell everybody about your new friend.
Yeah, he may drop in every now and again.
So basically, right, I'll explain for him. Tom can't move for this entire show.
Otherwise, he murders at least 3 ducks.
Do we need to put one of those voiceovers at the end over the music? Like, no ducks were harmed in the making of this podcast.
No, because we've definitely harmed
more
a duck.
Importantly, we need to give context to what we're talking about.
When have we ever done that?
When have we ever done that? Yeah, I borrowed a chair. Actually,
well, wait.
I got given a chair.
There you go. So you didn't borrow anything.
Yeah, I got given a chair from my work because I don't have any furniture, and it turns out the reason they've given it to me is because it squeaks really badly when you lean back. And I'm sat completely still to avoid doing it because it's just going to annoy everyone otherwise.
And if
Give us a whirl. Come on, get it on the show. Why is this funny?
It just is.
Why is anything?
It sounds like, as Mike said, on the Unwrapped, like he's murdering a duck.
I said that.
Oh, I do apologise.
Give credit where credit's due.
Do
Mike said strangle.
Credit.
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 Foreshadow to the next game.
What?
See,
All right, I'm lost.
That's too meta for me.
Yeah. Because of the name of it. No, we'll get to that at the end. God.
We probably won't. We'll
Yeah,
probably
you're
forget.
right. We'll forget.
Yeah.
We're trying to make our jokes come full circle.
Or you'll cut the cold ending before we actually said it.
I think the cold ending's going with Tom's rocking chair there.
I think we need to release the end of the show after the cold ending as part of the Unwrapped now as well.
Oh. Unwrapped more.
There's usually more.
Yeah.
We call it factory sealed jacket potato.
Just to be clear, he means jacket as in like a coat, not jacket as in jack in it.
Well, in Dan's context...
Don't put words in my mouth, my friend.
Dan's context. He means...
I meant exactly what I meant.
Yeah. His potato. Guys, it's been, what did we determine, 5 months since we've had a full show? July the tooth.
The tooth. Yeah.
It's going to be one of them weeks.
The second to last Final Fantasy IX show.
Yeah,
last time all four of us were here.
How has that even happened?
The tooth disc of Final Fantasy IX?
No, the third.
The third. No, I'm pretty sure Tom was only on the tooth one.
Yeah, we did the third and the
Ford.
On
on one show, didn't we? I remember now.
Yeah. That was the one
So
I
does
missed.
this work opposite? And if it was the fourth disc, it would be the forced disc.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It sounds like we're talking
Fist.
to Aerith.
But that doesn't mean
then-
Tom hasn't been on shows since, right? Which is we all haven't been together. Or was that literally your last show?
No, Tom was
Me?
on Bioshock, wasn't he?
Oh, I was on Bioshock, Spider-Man,
Okay, good.
Nights into Dreams.
Oh, yeah,
All of
that's
these
right,
shows
that
were
game.
afterwards.
But you guys missed the
Alright.
most important one, Mega Man.
Yeah. That's the thing. Missed out on
Who?
Mega Person.
I was hoping to evangelize to you about the man Mega.
I wish somebody could tell me about him.
Well, we can recap if you'd like.
Oh, shut the hell up.
Top quality jokes on that show, Daniel, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Tip top. I still have my
I
note
thought,
here on my
I thought
desktop.
Mike, your optician joke was just so bad that I had to get down to your level.
Actually, right, I'm going to put this out there. Can one of the listeners, because I know that we have a lot of listeners that listen back through the shows again, or you're a new listener and you're making your way through the shows, because I don't know when it was. Can somebody find my optician's joke and then email us in and tell us what it was? Because none of us can even remember what it was.
It might
Or
actually
you
just
could
be
just
in
listen to the show.
Zing.
Zing!
It might
We need
even
to
be
come
in
up
the
with, like-
Unwrapped.
We need to come up with some... Nah, it was definitely on a show, I think. We need to come up with some sort of shit name for our audience. No, like how WWE has the WWE Universe.
Oh God, Dan, you're good at coming up with dumb stuff.
The numpties?
Yeah, I'll do.
Jeez. The jacket potatoes.
The factory sealors.
Oh my God, no.
The factory universe.
This is going out to the factory sealers out there.
No.
Wagwan, my brethren.
The bread wrap.
The brethrens. There you go, done.
Done
So, yeah,
and
bit of-
done.
Bit of homework for the brethrens out there.
See how much thought we put into all of the things we do? About 30 seconds.
Hey, if it works.
Yeah. Go with your gut instinct. It's usually right.
True. This is true.
Yeah. So how is
So how are
everybody?
you? Oh, I was
Oh,
literally about to say
whew.
that.
Good. Tom?
Good, not bad. Figuring everything out.
If it sounds like Tom is in a gigantic mansion,
He is.
He is.
he is. That or a very small empty apartment.
It's a desk in the center of a ballroom with nothing else in it.
With a single
I
chandelier
actually imagine like when you dine that you and Kat sit on one of those ridiculously long tables where you're at the end. Neither of you can hear each other.
He tells something to Jeeves and he just slowly walks down to the other end and leans and whispers it into her ear. Master Yomis says, "How are you today?"
Lady Catherine
just
says
get-
you look very dapper this evening, Master
It takes
Yomis.
5 hours.
Jeeves ask Lady Catherine to pass the salt.
And then there's a
15
so she
minutes
just slides
later.
it. She slides it down the table, and the curling team have to go in front. The sweepy brushes.
They're so rich. They employ an entire country's curling team for dinner.
Then it just crashes on the floor, and Tom goes, "Jeeves, it didn't catch the salt in time."
Put 2 shakes of it over my right shoulder so the devil doesn't appear.
That's the goal.
That's everybody's dream in life.
You gotta set your goals.
I think Mike's gone.
I like to think the curling team are dressed like butlers as well, and they're just there like shuffling along with the brushes, like all in like full
So
suits.
is the table big enough for them to stand on, or is it a really thin table and then they're on the side like shuffling it as they're walking down the side of the table?
I like to think that the table's big enough that they go down with it.
Does the person get down like on their one knee behind the salt and just push it out?
That's Jeeves at the start, and it's like full top and tails with the top hat on and everything. He launches the salt, and then the sweepy brush team come from the side.
Sweepy brushed.
The they really hoped that night they were eating traditional Japanese cuisine, so the table was nice and low, so that when we're sat on the floor.
Oh, hello, Clive. Nice to meet you. What do you do for a job? Well, I work for Mr. Yobbus. I'm part of his curling team.
The dinner curling team, not the breakfast.
Yeah. I'm hoping to get a lunch shift soon for extra pay.
So how's Canada treating you, Tom?
Oh, it's challenging. It's up and down. Mainly, I think things are on the up, but it's tough moving anywhere, I think, starting again.
Well, you're gainfully employed now.
I'm employed. That's the good thing. I've got money coming in.
Money.
I can actually afford to do things and live well.
Stop
Pay
mooching.
the curling team.
Yeah.
Pay the current team. We're getting a bit pissed with all the checks bouncing.
You know how many times we've set that salt down there and got no money for it?
They were on strike. But, yeah, good. We're good.
We're good.
Figuring it
It's
out.
good. It's all good.
We're shooting to have everything fixed and sorted by Christmas. Like having all the furniture in and all that kind of stuff. All that good stuff.
Before you guys
If
come...
it all
hoping to buy
goes
those silent
really to
chairs.
shit, there's always het.
And yeah, get myself a decent chair.
You just get a lot of pillows and just sit on a bunch of pillows.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah. Or you could do like Dan and just
have
lay
pillows?
down and be half asleep 20 minutes into the show.
I'm actually sitting up today. I'm
Oh.
mixing it up.
BS.
He's a big boy now.
How are you guys
Sitting up
doing
by
anyway?
himself.
How are you
Good.
guys?
Good. The process
Yeah.
for buying a house sucks.
Oh, yeah. How's that going? Is it?
I've
just
signed
take
so many
ages?
things, I have no idea what they are. Here, sign this. All right. I mean, I could have just
Sign
been...
this.
I
What
What
could
do
have,
you mean I'm employed on Master Yomus's salt curling team?
yeah, I could have just handed over a $250,000 house to somebody down the street and I wouldn't have known.
You've accidentally given the rights to the
Yes.
show to someone else.
Yeah, who knows?
I'm glad you read the fine print before signing anything, though.
Who has time for that? Let me guess, you read the Apple terms of service, too.
No, when it comes to housing and stuff like that, I read every line of the contract and my job contract. I read every line.
Nah, sign it.
I hate when
Well-
you know when you have those situations where you get like something important put in front of you, and the person who is waiting for you to sign it, it obviously deals 99% of the time with people who will just sign it, and then you actually start reading it, and they're there kind of going,
Oh man,
while you're actually reading it, and I'm like, don't get pissed off with me,
yeah.
fucking signing this.
I actually so before we signed for our place, we sent the contract to someone that we know who does like property law. Just like, oh, read this. Does it make sense? Any good? I know my rights, bitch. Because they're just going to snake something in there in the little line, like, oh, you owe this much money. You're going to have to spend this much after this many months.
You have to come round and jack me off on every full moon.
Done. And howl like a werewolf. So yeah, that's me. And then we're just once we own the place, we have to get it in shape for you folks coming.
Oh, it's coming up soon.
Yay.
It's not long at all.
Oh man,
Still haven't done my Esther. Daniel,
I actually sent Hazel a message yesterday to say do it because I'm sick of telling you.
and she hasn't told me that, so good work there, Dan.
Thanks.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I've been trying to convince Mike to do his visa for about 3 weeks and he still hasn't done it.
He hasn't
So
been.
he
that
ain't getting
long.
into America at this rate.
I'll be fine. They'll let me in. They know me.
It's me, it's Mike. So have you
Stroll
ever
off
been
a
here?
plane,
No,
meet
boxing
Mike Tyson.
legend
Oh,
Mike
yeah,
Tyson.
Come on in. It's fine. Have a biscuit.
You've paled up.
I'm glad you're here. We've been waiting for you. That's what they'll say.
You got rid of
That
your
Mike
lisp.
Tyson. He's all right. He is. That's what they'll say. I
Actually,
can
when
picture
you
it
go
now.
through airports and people see you called Mike Tyson, does everybody go, Mike Tyson?
Nah, not really. It's one of the few places where no one
Fuck,
really
the Foo Fighters are in town.
Is that Dave Grohl?
It's usually things over the phone where I get it the most because I don't think they're expecting it. I don't think when people see your name written down, they just kind of go, and then
Have you
on
ever
the
had
phone
anybody
when
hang up on you because you think it's a crank call?
No, actually. But I'm always wary of, like, if I enter, like, competitions and stuff, I always make sure I put Michael rather than Mike, just in case someone thinks it's like a joke entry or something.
And have you ever won anything?
Yeah. I won the hearts and minds of the nation.
And a spot on this show.
Exactly. Yeah, won that.
Wow, that's a consolation prize and a half.
It's more of a punishment.
Yeah, I guess.
We're going to consume at least 30% of your life for the foreseeable future.
Yep. Sounds good to me. Good deal.
How long have we been doing this shit now?
Over 6 years.
Good lord.
6 years!
I think I've been doing at least 4.
Yeah, probably.
And Ragsy joined just after me.
I've been here over a year now.
Here's to another 6.
I did nearly hit every show, but I've been terrible recently. I've barely been here.
Good thing we don't do weekly anymore.
Did have a lovely holiday, though, in Marseille at Lanzarote.
Did you drive the smooth mobile?
Tom wouldn't let me it.
It's too slick to get inside.
Just kept
After last
slipping
time.
out. Mike, your birthday's this week.
It sure is. Oh,
Sure
don't you
is.
know,
How old are
Eric?
you going to be?
Don't
42?
you know?
43?
No, 32.
Oh, that's right. You and I are
Cheeky little
exactly
shit.
the same age.
Yeah, you're a little bit older than me, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm like your pappy.
Damn right I am.
Yeah.
What
I
is-
have...
what- Dan, what are you, like 24 now?
28.
Oh, God, you're old.
He's still the right side of 30, though, isn't he?
Nah, I like being 30.
Yeah.
Means I'm not in my 20s anymore.
Next year I'm 30.
Don't you find your knees?
How does that... That doesn't work that way. You don't go from 28 to 30.
Yeah, my birthday is this year, so I'm 29 this year, and then next year I'm 30.
Can't argue with that.
I mean, technicality, I'll give it to you.
How kind.
Next means next, not 2 from now.
We don't do it that way in Het.
Het means het. That's what they say in het.
He just chooses a random age. How old are you? Shit, I'm 42. Next year I'll be 12.
No, actually, we only go 1, 2, 3, then we just say many. You know what? Speaking of good old Het, I think last time when I told the story about how me and the missus ventured to Het Mill, I forgot to tell the story about how we also came across some unicyclists while we were out.
Oh, did any of them stalk you down the street?
They did not, but they were on the other side of the level crossing.
Now wait,
And they
wait.
They came up the road, 2 people on unicycles. I was like, what is this?
And did they go unicycles and then unicycle off?
They did.
I thought you said eunuch cyclists. Like,
Yes,
how could
they
you tell
turned
they
up,
were
they flashed their junk, they left.
their lack of junk? Sorry, I don't know why I heard eunuch cyclists. I'm like, yeah, he probably said unicyclists, but let's go with eunuchs.
Excellent.
But going back to the birthday thing, I believe I have a massive thank you to give you, Eric, since I've not done it kind of quote-unquote in person yet.
Oh, am I?
So, Eric, very lovely, sent me... Well, the funny thing was, it's an early birthday present, but the thing that made me laugh, when Eric first sent it, he was like, right, I've sent you your birthday present. You can open it early if you want, or you can save it to your birthday. The moment he knew it was in my hands, he was like, see, when you're opening it, you can open it? You can open it? Have you opened it yet? Why is it not open yet? So I opened up this box from Eric, no idea what it was. Fucking glitter everywhere. Now, Eric has shown me the video of him wrapping it now, of the actual item that he bought me, which I'll get to in a moment. He sealed that up, and then got a load of cling film, and then put just fucking tons of glitter in it. So I had to get through all of the glitter. And he was like, right, you can't use any knives or scissors or sharp objects to open this. So I actually had to start using my teeth to get through some of the tape and stuff. So I just ended up with like a glitter beard for several hours as well.
Hazel sent me one picture of you with glitter all over your face, and you just look pissed.
Oh, I was so angry. I was stood there doing this like, does he find this fucking funny? Why do people do this to me? I'm so fucking angry. But then I got inside, and Eric very kindly has bought me the Hyrule 2DS XL that's only available in America.
Yeah, that was an oversight, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh, fuck yeah, it was an oversight. So I was trying to change the settings and where I was and everything. I was like, can't find United Kingdom. Okay, we'll do the usual thing that you have to do in England, where you have to search for England, then Britain, then Great Britain, then United Kingdom, and find whichever fucking one comes up first.
Did you look up Brexit?
No, never fucking that. Don't get me started on Brexit, Eric. Not on this show. And I just said, Eric is like jokingly like, "Oh, there's a big problem with the DS." It's like, "What's that?" I was like, "I'm gonna have to stay in the United States." And then you put, "Oh no, is it region locked?" I was like, "Oh fuck, might be."
It's all part of his plan to get you to move to America. I think.
Exactly. Well, we did a bit of a Google, and it's region locked to 3DS games. For some reason, normal DS games aren't on it, which doesn't make a whole lick of sense.
Yeah.
So I spent yesterday morning trying to put successfully attempting to put some custom firmware on it so that it will read UK carts, and it's all good. Crisis averted.
Seems to work.
But I can't believe... Well, I went into game yesterday morning because obviously I needed a 3DS game to test it. I just walked in, and obviously American listeners will not know what a game is like here. We've described how terrible it is before. But Tom, did you ever find whenever you went to game, you were always served by two different kinds of member of staff? There was either the guy who was really, really into his video games, who when talking to him, you're just like, shut up, you're making me look like a nerd. And then there's the other guy who does not give a shit whatsoever, and you try and talk to him and he just grunts at you. You know those two kinds?
Yeah, they're like yin and yang. There's like one guy who's keen and the other who's just, yeah.
But I went in, I was just like, hello, before I go, I didn't do it in that voice, but hello.
Hello.
Welcome to Mike Tyson's Price is Right.
Hello, sir. Sorry for bothering you at your place of business, but do you mind if I do business?
It was like, just out of interest, do you know what your cheapest 3DS game is? And he was just like, I was like,
God.
Well, I just literally need a 3DS game. And he's just the cheapest one. Fine, I'll just look through the shelf myself. And I picked up for £4.99 in English money the seminal 3DS classic Formula 1 2011 because it was the cheapest one there. But I managed to get that running, so I'm presuming it now works. All 3DS carts work, and now I need to go and trade that back in and get like 50.
Don't they just have a return policy? You could be like, this thing's shit.
What they do when you buy games from them, they then put a sticker on the outside to know if you've opened it up or not, and you got a 28-day return policy on it if it's not been opened.
See, GameStop, you have a 7-day return policy, so you could buy a game, beat it, and bring it back. And we had, when I worked there were obviously customers who abused that policy.
Oh, man, I would if I had the time.
Oh, yeah, they just lived at home with mom and sat in their basement, played a game, returned it. They would always buy, they'd wait 2 or 3 days for a brand new game to come out and then be traded in and then buy that used, play it in 7 days, bring it back, get their full $55 back.
Nice.
Wow.
Like, yeah, I didn't like it. Okay, well, here's your money back.
I got the platinum trophy, but
Yeah.
was a bit shit. Just that platinum score, right?
Years ago, I managed to do it. I managed to pull it off. What did I buy? It was some really shit game on the PS2. I think it might have been Sonic Heroes.
Ugh.
And I went and bought it, and I was like, wow, this is fucking terrible. Like, I'm going to try and get a refund on this. And took it back, and I was like, hi, mate, I bought this for my auntie. She's buying it for her son. She told me it was on PlayStation. Turns out it's on Xbox. Can I refund it? Because she's already got it elsewhere now. I was like, oh, yeah, all right then. It's the only time it's ever worked.
Was the Yorkshire accent an integral part of the refund, or...?
Did I do a Yorkshire accent?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't realise it. Maybe it's just slipping in.
Too much MC Devo.
Been living here too long, eating too much snap.
Eating too much snap.
Oh God, right. I shouldn't really laugh at this.
But that's what we do on this show.
But I went somewhere the other day, and I'm not going to imitate it because one, it'll probably be too lowbrow for this show, and also I don't think I actually could. But
Oh dear.
Give it a shot. Do it. You got to try it now.
was speaking to this other lorry driver at a place I had to go to, I was delivering to, and he had a really broad Yorkshire accent, but was also deaf. And it was the strangest mixture of sounds.
Hey, dude, try living with an Irish guy who had a lisp. That is impossible.
And he was a lovely guy. He was nice to talk to, but I just I was stood there. I could tell I had a puzzled face the entire time. Just the sounds that were coming out of his mouth. I was just like, this is so weird.
They made perfect sense to him, but not to you.
Yeah, I guess I kind of understood it. Ish. But yeah, I am not attempting to imitate that.
So what's the first venture forth for you in the 3DS realm? Because you've only been up to the DS currently, right?
Formula 1 2011, obviously.
Excellent starting point into a wonderful library of games.
It's all downhill from there.
No, I'm thinking... Well, you said yourself it has to be a Zelda game.
Yeah, that seems only right.
Console, yeah.
So, brain training...
that Legend of Zelda brain training is the answer. Yeah. Or
oh god.
No, I think I'm going to pick up Majora's Mask because I've never played Majora's Mask.
Play it with a guide. You'll need it.
And I've heard the 3DS version is pretty spectacular.
It is great, especially since that has the C-stick on that 2DS, which will make controlling the camera a lot easier.
Yeah,
Have we done Majora's Mask for the show?
No. Well, have we? Yeah, we did. Yes, we did.
I missed it then.
I missed it as well. I never played.
I think I did that with Jess, the completionist Clarkson.
I thought it had the best title screen ever.
That card was great.
I've just seen you've sent us that picture of me with glitter on my face. Yeah, I do look angry in that. Didn't Jess finish Suikoden though?
Yeah, one of the longest games we've done.
It's amazing.
Yeah, we did Majora's Mask on episode 45, which was like 2 shows before Dan joined.
Oh, you bastard.
No, sorry.
Yeah, but yeah, that's the thing. I'm playing portable wise. I'm playing Oxenfree on the Switch at the moment, so I'll finish that first and then pick up Majora's Mask. I think.
I still think you should get Link Between Worlds first.
It's got a hell of a plot twist.
Oh, shut up!
I
saw it coming a mile away. You just didn't want to give it to me that it was a great plot twist.
It wasn't.
You're dumb.
Don't be ruining it for me.
Zelda's in it.
The main character isn't Zelda.
I thought that was Zelda.
Yeah, Zelda's the guy, right? What else? Anything
But yeah,
else?
thank you though, Eric.
Yeah, you're
honestly,
welcome.
really, really, I love it. Thank you so much.
I was
can't believe
surprised
you
to see.
bought me a bit.
I was surprised to see that it wasn't just like a paint job or a sticker or something on the outside.
Oh
like
yeah, that is a nice piece of kit. Really, really is. I like it. I can't wait to play it like properly because obviously I've got no games for it at the moment. So
Yeah. Well, you'll just have to load up when you get over here then.
yeah. Well, I've got access to the US store, so
Oh shit.
which usually has better deals than the UK one when it comes to Nintendo. So
Yeah, I
That's all
suppose.
that
I mean,
freedom on that there store.
you just boot into it and it's Eagles coin.
You have to
The
swipe
sound
them
of-
away with the stylus so that you can actually pay.
and if you put your location settings on Canada, you just get the sound of Tom's duck. The national bird of Canada.
I feel like before
Tom, can we keep your chair, please? Like, I don't want you to get rid of it.
It's gonna become a staple.
Ow.
Be the fifth host.
Yeah.
Gets its own page on the website and everything.
Yeah, it's in the Meet the Team.
You need to get a picture of the chair straddling something.
the balcony on its way out.
Yes.
I feel like before we move on to this week's game, we should talk about another game that came out.
Ghostbusters World!
No!
Oh.
What is it with you and Ghostbusters?
I think I saw somebody playing that yesterday when we were at the theater.
And did you congratulate them for playing a lovely game?
Well, no, I was too damn distracted by Grandma What's-Her-Nuts down there with her screen on full brightness. Seriously, the entire show, she's sitting there, and I don't know what it is when you're in a balcony at a theater and people are like, I'm going to take out my shitty camera phone and I'm going to zoom all the way in and take a blurry picture. She took like 400 of them. Wow. And then she would, every one of them, go back to her home screen, full brightness, and a white picture for her background so it's 10 times brighter, and then share them on Facebook. Every one of them. Like, Grandma, they all look like shit.
They all look like shit.
And then finally, I think I sent you guys a picture of this, about 2/3 of the way through the show, security guard comes up and sits behind her. Like, yes, Grandma got wrecked.
Did he start, like, doing PvP on Ghostbusters World with her?
No, she wasn't playing Ghostbusters World.
Oh, why not?
Because.
If she was that old, maybe she thought she'd see herself in it as a ghost.
God.
Nigel, I've caught myself.
But yeah, that was one of those small little karma victories in life.
And also you got to see a bit of footage of Ghostbusters World. So, there you go.
I mean, we were at a show where most of the guys that were there were dragged by their wives or girlfriends because they didn't want to go.
Think of all that time they could have spent sat there playing on Ghostbusters World. They could have got some levels, man.
I think that's what that guy was all about. We went to see Leah Michelle and Darren Criss. They're on their concert. They're from Glee. Christy likes them and wanted to go.
I was going to say, who?
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
The two of the lead characters from Glee. They did a dual concert. It's actually really good, but, you know... 50...
What? They're, like, fighting each other with swords while they're singing?
Yeah. To the death.
Yeah, sweet. Must be a short tour.
One show.
Hardly a tour, is it?
Well, it's a 3-hour tour.
So, sometimes you got to do these things, eh?
Well, they had to bill it as a tour so they could sell out a bunch of arenas and put the fine print in the contract of no money back.
Yeah.
That way the pot for victory is higher and there's more incentive to not die.
Jam and I have an announcement.
You shit your pants.
No, close.
What?
I think Hazel has put the pork in the oven. It smells delicious here. I felt it important to tell you.
Has she put you some food
is
in?
that a euphemism?
God.
Oh, God.
See, what I like to do, I like to give the audience a full idea of the senses that are going on around me, which includes smells.
If you
This is an
listen to the
immersive
Unwrapped,
podcast.
you were treat to his brilliant thing where he described a digestive biscuit, which was just wonderful.
Oh, man. Speaking of scents, Dan, I think I found something that rivals the rabbit pie.
What a beautiful segue.
Ooh, thank you. So I had a cross-country trek this past week. I flew back to Wisconsin to help my grandparents drive their motorhome down to Arizona with 5 cats, 2 dogs, and 4 adults. It was
and a partridge in a pear tree.
Whoa, Mike getting in the Christmas
from a
spirit.
guy who
What the
hates
hell's
Christmas.
going on?
Yeah, I'll tell you, man, the smell of delicious pork does strange things to me.
What the food?
Well, you're
that
going
you
to love
don't
my
have on
house
Christmas?
then.
Who knows what turkey's going to do to you?
As soon as he smells that turkey, he comes down dressed like Santa, singing in a top voice, and just sits down and goes, "I fucking love Christmas, mate."
Put me some
cracks open a
Oh my
carving.
god! Speaking of singing in a loud voice, so when I was on holiday, you know, like when you go on these like all-inclusive holidays, and there's always like the evening entertainment of just like people on stage and stuff like that. As always, on a holiday, I always get fucking dragged on stage every single time. And they did this thing. They had me and three other guys up, and it was supposed to be this thing of they wanted to find out who the king was. The place was called like Seneo Club or something like that. The king of Seneo Club. So it was like supposed to be getting ready for a night out, and when you go on a night out, like trying to pull and things like that. And it started off with with you getting ready, and there had to be like, oh, you're getting in the shower, and then you fucking dry yourself off, and then like get dressed and shit like that.
So you just got on stage and took all your clothes off.
No, got into the shower bit and just go, la 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 la, and then the round that I did win, they got this woman from the audience to sit in a chair, and the idea was we were supposed to be like in a nightclub, and we were supposed to have to dance like to like seduce her. So.
Oh my God. Is there video footage of this?
I don't think so. But me being me, as I am, never have any control of myself. Just when she was up there in a chair, that's it. Legs straight over up to her shoulder. Spun around, slut drop in front of her.
Oh my god.
It was great.
It's just children in the audience horrified.
I won that round, though. In fact, on one of the nights, they had like a group quiz kind of thing, and one of them, their subject was video game music. So they were playing that. The idea was the room was split in half, and there's two teams. So then they play some video game music, and if you knew the answer, you needed to run up, sit in this chair, and do the answer. There was 10 tracks they did, and I think I went up and answered 8 of them before someone else got there.
Wow. Nice.
It's like
Perfect
literally
topic.
the only person in the room that knew it. Yeah.
Just imagine a load of people on an all-inclusive holiday, pissed out of their minds, and then all of a sudden it just... I know! It's North Coral!
Great. Anyway, Eric, cross-country trek.
That's it. Drove in a
I'm sure there's more
motorhome,
to it.
made it to Amarillo, broke down, had to drive home by myself.
Yeah, but you said, speaking of scents, something better than rabbit pie.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God, that rental car. I feel bad for the people that got that thing back.
Go on.
That's all you need to know.
Oh, what did you have?
I don't know. That's the thing. Lots of dill pickle chips and Mountain Dew.
Oh
Yeah,
god.
yeah, I'll do it.
Oh fuck.
And a giant bag of peanut M&Ms. Like one of those 6-pound bags.
Oh my.
Why
days.
pay $2 for 10 ounces when you can pay $8 for 6 pounds?
So
That-
peanutty dill pickle Mountain Dew farts.
And I
think
suspect
if
some of that rabbit
if I
pie
had-
is still up there.
Oh, yeah, I still got the bullets in my gut from it.
I think I would get through a lot of candy if my job was to drive several hours.
Oh,
in a row
God.
Every
Well, I
day.
was telling you, Mike, I don't know how long-haul truckers do it.
Yeah.
By the end of hour 1, I wanted to put...
missionary position usually.
Dan's speaking from experience there.
Hey, my potato gets in places, my friend.
Guys, we should
Do you
talk
know
about
the
at
worst
least...
thing about this
What?
is the fact that, like, not only is Dan's laptop a potato, now his penis is.
It's got a spud cock.
Which further proves that he went to Ireland, not Iceland. Gotta get a new dick. This one's starting to sprout.
Just go to Ireland and plant it in the ground to get a new one.
Damn right, I got a root veg.
Why do I say these things? It's a good stick.
Why do we say anything?
I don't know.
Guys, a game came out last week that we should probably touch on because...
Ghostbusters World.
No, we already covered
this-
that.
Backdoor
Spider-Man.
Sluts 12. The Backdoor Sluttiest.
No, that's next week.
Oh, I thought it was out already.
Well, they come out every other week.
Ah.
Yeah.
Formula 1 2018 for 3DS.
For 3DS.
It only came out on 2DS. No 3D.
Barbie Supermodel Remastered.
Could you imagine?
Lego DC
hang on.
Supervillains.
Eric, are you talking about Rootin-Tootin Horsey-Shootin too?
He's not.
You're darn right.
Soul Calibur 6.
Darn tootin'.
You're darn
That by the guys who made Steely Wheelie Automobile?
Yes. Red Dead Redemption 2. I feel like we should touch on this. Because it's kind of a big deal.
It's kind of a big deal. That we can't say very much because Ragsy has not played it, and loads of people probably
He hasn't played Spider-Man yet either.
Oh, God
Or
of
God
War.
of War.
This man,
Do you even video game?
Oh, shut up. My situation is very different right now.
Right.
Yes, he's too busy browsing the PSN for the most obscure games he can find.
I barely played a game for weeks. Other than the game for the show.
Too busy furnishing your apartment.
Yeah.
Got one squeaky chair, that'll do.
Took me
One
6
squeaky
weeks
chair,
to
look
find
at
this one. Had the perfect tone.
Just been sat there for
I don't
weeks,
even-
just squeaking back
I don't
and
even have a
forth.
health. I don't even have a health card here, so I need to get my priorities right.
Hang on, wait, you're sat on that chair that you got for free and you don't have healthcare. Dangerous
know.
game, that's
Isn't healthcare free up there? You could just cut an arm off and walk into a hospital and they'd sew it back on and not even ask you for your wallet.
You need a health card though, and you have to write to the government and then go and wait in a room for hours and then you get it.
I mean, that would have been handy when you fucked your ankle up last week.
Well, yeah, I was going to go and see the doctor, but it would have cost $90 just to see them, and then if it needed an X-ray, it would have been another $100, and I just literally didn't have the money. in my
Oh
account
boy,
to do
that's
it.
so expensive.
He didn't have a job.
That's cheap.
It is when it's free from in the UK.
Well, free at the point of use, Tom.
Yeah,
It's not free. You guys pay
it's not free.
astronomical taxes.
Not really.
no, we don't really.
Anyway, this isn't the Factory Sealed Politics podcast. Let's
It is
talk about
sometimes.
Rootin'-Tootin Horsey-Shootin.
How many horses have you killed?
I haven't gotten to a point yet where they'll let me kill a horse.
We should probably say that, right. I'm not going to constantly say it like we did on the Spider-Man episode, but we are going to do no spoilers. But the beginning of this game, ooh boy, it's slow.
This game, I have to approach it differently than I did the first Red Dead. I couldn't stand the first Red Dead aside from the horse violence. Because the first 5 hours of this game are everything I hated about all of the last game. It's just slow. There's no way around it.
It is, but I liked it.
Yeah, but at least this world is more engaging and it feels like there's actually things in it. The other game was like,
It
oh, there's
might
a
be the
crow,
most
there's a
engaging
flower,
open world ever created.
there's a horse, shoot it. Oh, there's a town in the distance, and it's the one of two towns.
Yeah, there's a lot
Yeah,
more in
but-
this one.
Yeah.
Back then, I guess there weren't many towns.
There are more than two.
There's quite a few in the first game.
I think there's
Yeah, but
three,
Eric
maybe.
doesn't,
Now,
apart from
there's
games of the
loads.
show, Eric doesn't finish games, so he
I
probably
put 'em
doesn't
in.
know.
Eric doesn't even figure out the controls. I don't know how he's going to cope with Red Dead because it's a complex control system.
Oh, Jesus
Look,
Christ,
all I
is it?
need to know is how do I pull out my gun and point it at a horse?
Now, pulling out your gun is a bit of a faff on this game.
Yeah, it's more technical than
yeah.
you think.
Really?
Walk up to your horse, hold
There's-
left trigger, press
If-
RB to
if
go
you
to the gun.
don't, so there is some because your guns are technically stored on your horse because of realism, and sometimes you can get off your horse and be in the middle of a shootout and realize, oh, I haven't brought my gun.
Oh, this is right. It's gonna sound like I'm being really negative about this game. Admittedly, I've only played it that first weekend because I've just not had time to play anything at home really, and with playing the game for the show as well. But it will unequip your weapons any chance it gets.
Oh, yeah.
You
all the
stroll
time.
into
I
a
don't
town
know
and start
why.
chatting to people and takes your weapons off you. They're stored on your horse. Okay, right, I'll go up to my camp. Oh, my weapons are now back on my horse, and I have to take them back out again.
There's no rhyme or reason to it. Sometimes it takes your pistol, sometimes it takes your rifle, sometimes it takes whatever it wants. And because I've got a really good pistol, and then I was in a firefight and it said Worn Cattleman Revolver. I was like, what's this shit? Where's my freedom rifle?
Eric stole it.
My freedom rifle, which I had taken to the gunsmith and carved an American eagle onto the wood grain.
Hell yeah!
Because you can do
Did you
that.
actually?
You
You
change
can
all
do
that
yes.
gunpowder to the dust of eagle bones, and it goes caw every time you shoot it.
Now, I'll say I've probably played a hell of a lot more than you guys because I'm up to chapter 7.
Good lord, do you do anything else ever?
No. Crystal's been away all weekend. I got some quality Red Dead time in. So,
Wow.
And
but
potato
I will
time,
say,
right?
While it starts, yes, of course. While it starts really, really slowly, this slow burn is great later on because you get so much character development and the storyline just gets real good. It's worth sticking with.
Yeah, I'm approaching this as more of like, it's just an interactive movie at this point.
It is a really fun game though, and there's a lot to do in it. Actually, once you get your head around everything, it takes a while. It's not going to be for everyone. I'm not going to lie. Like Mike, you said you might not like it. Fair enough, but
Yeah, I'm still on the fence. Again, I've only played it that first weekend. I am sorry. I've just had a bit of an incident with my microphone, so I wasn't concentrating. I don't know if you've already said this, but it at many points sacrifices realism, gameplay and convenience for realism.
it does a lot. But I think there's enough gameplay in it to justify it once you get your head round it, because it's a different approach to open world game design. Generally, an open world will be this vast open sandbox, but there's not a lot to do in it. And that's where Red Dead changes this, because they've created this huge open world, like full of things. It looks amazing as well, but it's still full of stuff to do.
Well, and it's like everything's so technical and complex too. Even the act of hunting, you have to be worried about your fart smell and which way it's blowing, and just it's insane the level of detail.
It is. I can't believe how much they've packed into it. Apparently, it's got even more beyond the storyline as well. So, I can't even fathom how they've produced this game.
Yeah, like I said, there's gonna be a lot of this where I sound negative, but the work that they've put in and what they've managed to get out of this, it is an absolute technical marvel. It is a era-defining video game. Like, this surpasses, in terms of what it can do and the interactivity and everything like that, this surpasses pretty much everything I've ever played. But like I said, it sacrifices some gameplay for that. Like, it's so finicky, like I said, about you have to get your weapons from your horse. If you hunt something, you then have to, if you got the pelt, you put the pelt on the horse. You take the pelt, have to take the horse to the person you're selling it to.
Yes, but then your horse looks like it's wearing underpants, which is just excellent.
Little things like that. And there's not really... You can unlock a fast travel mechanic later on, but it's only back to your camp, not outwards. So things like the meat that you get eventually rots. So if you don't get somewhere to sell it, or if you don't cook it or anything like that straight away. But then it has all this realism on those aspects, but then there's other certain bits where it doesn't... It just ignores it. So I watched the Jim Sterling impressions of it. So this isn't my own material, but he made a big deal on the fact that your outfits that you can change into are stored on your horse. So if you want to change outfits whilst riding your horse, you have to stop to change your outfit. For realism, you can't just change your outfit whilst your horse is moving. But then you instantly just change outfits anyway. So there's that realism of having to stop your horse, but then you're instantly just going to swap clothes anyway. It sometimes can pick and choose between that realism.
Well, do you really want to watch him take his pants off and put?
I am a pervert, Eric. Yes.
You can make him have a bath.
Yeah, this is true.
You know how in the first Red Dead Redemption you can take stagecoaches across different towns?
Yeah.
What are the other fast travel options? Can you take trains and stuff?
Jet,
Trains are in it, yep.
space shuttle,
Space shuttle.
Three-wheel tricycle.
a unicycle.
None of those are available, and I know you're just fucking with me.
Squeaky chair.
Yeah. You can take a barrel down the river.
Don't lie to me.
Well,
All right,
maybe
seriously,
if you
don't
buy
lie to me. It's
games.
annoying me.
What is?
Maybe buy a game, did you say?
Yeah, maybe buy a game once in a while.
I know. Believe me, I wish.
So, kind of to Mike's point, though, that's what I appreciate about Rockstar, though, is that they have such a massive budget and they give themselves so much time to develop a game that I imagine they just sit around and go, what can we do now? And what stupid detail can we add? Oh, how about every plant in the game has a different root structure? Do it. Here's $500 million and 4,000 people. Make that happen.
I know, it's like the plants move when you
what's
walk
happened?
into them and everything.
Every single plant that you can pull has a unique root structure.
Wow, that's insane.
Yeah.
But like Tom, even if you walk into trees, they actually react to how you walk into them. Like the branches move and things. It's amazing.
Oh, man.
Did you guys see those
Sorry.
couple of videos that people posted in the Facebook page about one time the guy jumped over a log and then his horse tripped and then he got back up and then a tree fell and killed his horse?
Yeah, I think that
I saw
I think
that.
that video is from a random encounter because you can randomly encounter people in the countryside and stuff up to things. And there was one time I wandered past this guy and he was cutting down a tree, and I actually shouted timber and it nearly hit me. I think that's the same section, but it was
I like the
amazing.
one that
I was like,
somebody
I've never seen
posted.
somebody on a video game cut down a tree.
I like the one that somebody posted where they stopped to talk to this lady who's asking him for help, and then this ram comes out of nowhere and just charges the shit out of her and kills her.
That was good. I like that.
Wow.
I'm looking forward to digging into it, honestly. I wanted to play more, but I had to get through Bed Space.
I think you're going to be playing it up until Christmas, to be honest, if not longer. It's a very long game, and then we got Red Dead Online coming as well.
See, I bought Red Dead on the Xbox One because it's 1X enhanced and it's a full native 4K 60 frames. Like, you know
I
what?
can't even imagine how good it looks because it looks amazing on a base PS4.
Yeah. So I sent you guys a comparison video where it shows the 4 different consoles. Xbox One S, easily the worst. It looks like somebody just colored it in with brown crayon. But yeah, the PS4 Pro and the One X are pretty close to on par with each other, but I figured, you know what, I want true native 4K. So when Red Dead Online comes out, I'll just pick it up on PS4.
You think is it worth me waiting to get the 4K TV since I have a Pro, or should I just start playing it on a 1080p?
You'll be
TV?
fine.
It'll look good regardless.
I have a 4K TV, but I don't have PS4 Pro, and it looks pretty good. So I don't know. It's one of these games where the level of detail is just so incredible. It'll probably look great on a CRT television, to be honest.
Yeah.
So some of the weather effects are on another level. They are incredible. Like, I was walking through a wood the other day on it, and the moon was filtering through the trees. And it was there was fog everywhere, and it just looked amazing.
Yeah, honestly, the graphical detail of it, like the top of like a human being's ear. If like the sunlight catches it the right way, it kind of goes. You can almost see the light through it. You can almost see that on the characters.
Oh shit!
It's mental, but I am definitely going to spend some more time with it. I'm not going to write it off just yet, but the realism thing and how slow paced everything is, and how long it takes to do everything, this game is not going to be for everyone. I think before this game came out, I thought this is going to be universally loved. Everyone is going to be all over it, and it has had mixed reactions. It's been getting 10s across the board, don't get me wrong, but generally some people have liked it, some people have loved it, but a lot of people really haven't got on board with it as well.
Like I say, Mike, though, I think it's a slow burn. I think you have to give it that chance.
I think so as well.
Whereas some people have just went, I can't shoot things straight away, this is shit.
Yeah, they as well. Like for
That's
me,
supposed to be me.
Yes.
I've seen little parts of him that I like, but I don't think at first I did say I was a pervert. Arthur Morgan isn't as instantly likable as John Marston. I think
He
I
is.
am going to like him, but
He's a
in
lot of
terms
fun
of
when you get to know him.
immediate appeal, I don't like him. The other thing as well that's quite interesting is whenever I play these open world games and there's an honor system, I like to be good. I try and be as good as possible, as altruistic, and be the hero, so to speak. And because of the character of Arthur, where he is at the beginning of the game, you're part of the gang who are a villainous gang. It's quite difficult to try and stay good because you're doing all the things to keep yourself on the good side of honor.
The honor system is stupid, to be honest,
Yeah,
because
but
you
then-
are playing as an outlaw. You will kill thousands of people, but you have an honor system, so you can shoot about 8 guys in the face. But as long as you help the old lady by the side of the road whose cart's broken down, you're good.
And that's got me a little bit conflicted at the moment with it because it doesn't really make sense. But I've kind of come to the conclusion I'm just going to fuck the honor system. Like, I don't kind of care which way I go. I'll try and be good where I can. I'm not just going to go around shooting innocents and things like that, but I'm not going to...
A recruit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is nothing that is safe from my hail of gunfire in this world.
I ended up having a shootout with the...
wasn't there?
Oh, sorry, Tom.
There was an honor system in the original Red Dead Redemption.
Do you want to know how far I made it into the first Red Dead?
You put it
Yeah,
in
go
the
on.
tray.
I
You
made
saw
it
two
to
towns,
the
so it
first
can't be far.
town and got sidetracked with killing everyone and everything. And that's genuinely as far as I made it.
See, you do this thing,
such a
Eric,
good
where you
game.
play some great games and you play them in a certain way and you do yourself a disservice, and I don't think you enjoy them to the full potential that you could. Like, you did it with
He was
Horizon,
going through
with
his,
the weapons
his
and things like that.
storyline happens to other people phase at this point. So.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
my
I guess,
storyline
but-
happens to other people phase. Well, Horizon, that game did not make it abundantly clear nor easy to figure out how to upgrade weapons.
Okay, well, no, I'm not getting at you for not doing it, but like, obviously you didn't realise the weapon system was there, and I don't think you looked. You probably.
I
didn't look
consider
into
that
it.
an achievement. I went through that
He
game.
didn't realise you could move forward. He doesn't know control.
But
I went through that game with the basic bow and arrow.
which is great. Don't get me wrong, but I think you did yourself a disservice and didn't enjoy that game as much as you probably could.
Probably not. Yeah, I mean, you're probably right.
I mean, I played Undertale recently, and I listened back to your guys' Undertale show because I wanted to play it before I listened to it. And your thing of going through and killing everything on that, I don't think you enjoyed it as much as you could have.
Well, I purposely
yeah.
did that because it's such a vitriolic community. It's like, you have to do a non-killing playthrough to truly enjoy it. Blah.
he likes pissing people off. That's what he's
Eric Peterson, the ultimate troll.
Yeah.
But yeah, everything is a bit slow on it. Every time you pick up a fucking berry or a herb or anything like that, it goes through the entire animation every single time. No, 'cause
I like
there's a
the
hate-
deer skinning animation.
Oh yeah, it's cool.
Oh,
But
they get more gruesome with when you start killing alligators and stuff.
There's alligators?
Yeah, there is alligators. Spoilers.
Are there
But-
hippos?
There's no hippos.
Are there
I haven't seen
giraffes?
any hippos. I don't think there's many giraffes in colonial America.
Any eagles?
But
I don't know,
Eric,
maybe
once
you can
get to
bust
the
into
point-
a zoo.
Once you get to the point where the game opens up, I think in this game, if you do take your usual route of trying to kill everything, I think you will definitely be doing yourself a disservice because the NPCs, they remember everything. And you can interact with every single NPC. You can have a conversation with most of them. You can riding down the road and say hi or intimidate someone and things like that. And you'll see people in the... there's things like there'll be a drunk in town, and if you happen to keep the camera on him too long, he thinks you're staring at him, so he'll start fighting you. And then you come back into town later on, you'll remember whether he beat you or not.
I haven't seen
And,
that one. That's amazing.
there's things like, there's one guy. These are little trivial things, so this is no spoilers. There was a homeless guy at one point who he just wanted someone to chat to him for a few minutes, and you didn't have to interact with him at all. I just happened to hold the thing to target on him, chatted to him, and he was like, it's really great to actually talk to someone. And then he was like, can you do me a favor? I just want someone to hold me for a moment. You can hold him, and then later on when you come back into town, he remembers who you are and says hello and all these kind of things. And it is deep in that aspect. I had a guy who I saved from from
show.
bandits and stuff like that. Yes, the show. And later on, I was in a completely different town, and he was there, and he remembered me, and he was thanking me, and he gave me something. Like, I think it was like some food or something like that for me to take. And it's little things like that. They remember it, and I remember when they were developing the game, they discussed all this. That it's not just NPCs in a routine where they're going to come out the bar, sweep the floor, then go back in the bar, and then 10 minutes later come out, sweep the floor, go back in. They all have like these characters of their own, and you can see it in the game.
I met a guy out in the wild who'd been bitten by a snake, so you get the option of sucking out the poison, which I did, and then I met him again about 3 hours later and had to suck the poison out again because he'd been bitten by another snake. And then I met him later in town, and he offered to buy me anything I wanted from the general store. So I selected the most expensive outfit.
Yeah, but question,
Nice.
Is one of the options put him out of his misery?
Yes, you can shoot them if you want to.
No.
Beautiful.
The
This
other
game
one
is for
like,
me.
The poison's in my potato.
Sir, were you really bitten by a snake?
Oh, there's a bit actually I encountered yesterday which has deeply disturbed me, but I don't want to spoil it. And it's a chance encounter which you might not find, but it was so strange. It's not part of the storyline.
I honestly think that very few people will ever see every single inch of this game.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Because of how much is in it and all of the random encounters that can happen and things like that. I don't think I think very few people are actually going to see the entire thing. It's interesting. Like I say, I'm going to keep giving it a go. I'll see how I get on with it. But at the moment, I'm on the fence of this better start ramping up for me soon. Otherwise, I might just trade it in whilst it's still high value.
I don't
I wonder what
anticipate
kind
it.
of Easter eggs and stuff are in it, because Rockstar loves doing that. I wonder if there's any aliens.
I don't anticipate it being
not
one of my
saying
top games of the
anything.
year, but I feel like it's one of those games where it's so anticipated that you just have to buy it and be a part of the conversation while it's happening.
Yeah, and that's why I bought it, because I wasn't going to get it at first. As it stands at the moment, I don't think it will be on my top 10.
It's on mine.
It might end up being on it, but it's not at the moment.
Dan, this isn't a Metroidvania game. How can it be on your top 10?
It is excellent. It turns into a Metroidvania halfway through.
2D side scroller.
Oh, God, I wasn't on the last show. Dan, we both finished The Messenger.
We did.
Oh, fucking get this game, everyone. If you've got a Switch...
I tried to get him to
on
talk
Steam as well.
about it, but he wasn't having it. It was too much Mega Man.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Such a good
superior
game.
game.
Such
It's
good value as well.
fantastic.
One of the funniest games I've played in ages as well. Like, the writing on it is so fucking good.
It
I
was
had such a good
hilarious,
time with
but
it.
it's so good.
Eric, he'll be right up your
That.
street.
How about my alley?
You could probably get that cartridge up your alley. Probably.
A little bit your
It's
drive,
digital.
your crescent, your muse,
My
your
crevasse.
avenue.
My potato?
Are you talking
You're
about your
close.
butthole, son?
Yep.
Your street, your
My,
road.
my starfish? Gentlemen, shall we get to our game of the week?
Ghostbusters World.
No!
Somebody punch him out.
Good Lord. Get it? That's a video game joke, Dan.
What?
You said punch him out. His name's Mike Tyson. Like Mike Tyson's Punch Out.
Oh,
Come
yeah.
on.
All right. My comment
you
works
get
on
it, Dan?
several levels. Very
Dan,
good.
do you get
I
your
got-
own
I got-
joke? You get it?
I got it.
Get
got
it?
thanks.
So, guys, I think we have to put the disclaimer because I don't think Ghostbusters World is a retro game.
Oh, shut up. But yes, you are right. We do need to put a disclaimer on this because 6 years ago when we started this show, we settled on the fact that our criteria for games was 10 years old or older. Now, when we started this in 2012, that was 2002, PS2 era
You had
games.
to think about that, didn't you?
I did. I had to do some basic math.
I put 1938.
Carry the one!
Have I told you about Mega Man?
You done?
6 Robot Masters, plus take in Dr. Wily.
Kids, what's 12 minus 10?
Then
Daddy
you have
don't
to
know.
fight them all again.
Daddy, that equals 1776.
Good girl.
It's the only
God,
math
can we
problem
ever
we
try-
know.
Now
We know
go
exactly.
outside,
Transition
enjoy
properly.
that freedom.
Can we ever transition properly?
No.
I feel like we try and move on to a new subject and it never happens.
No, we can't. Oh, yeah, we were talking. Okay, so this is a huge disclaimer because I don't want us to get negative reviews about it. So if you're a new listener.
Sorry, we get negative reviews anyway.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But this one, people will specifically call out. We have determined that retro is a sliding scale because games get older. And our 10 years, every year opens up a new era of games. So now, games from 2008 are eligible for our show, which puts us well into the PS3 era. So we have chosen to play for our Halloween episode, which was supposed to be last week, but we're stepping away from Silent Hill because everything after 3, arguably everything after 2, is just toilet.
Garbage.
But we suffered through 3, unfortunately. And we're going to steer towards Dead Space, which came out in October of 2008. So we are just a hair over the 10-year mark.
Yeah, only just for the EU release date, because it was October 24th.
So, by factory sealed standards, Dead Space is a retro game. Deal
By
with
factory
it.
factory sealed standards, he means we have none.
Yes. There's one. That's the one standard I think we've held to. With the exception of a show we played with Matt Ernie, Undertale was not old, but it looked old, so we did it.
Nobody cares. Just crack on.
No.
I think you got away with it with Undertale, though, because
next show we're playing Red Dead Redemption 2.
Game's
It's
10
over a
days
week
old.
old!
That shit's old news.
We have decided that factory sealed is a sliding scale.
Is that your impression of me?
Yes.
I don't like it.
As long as it sounds dumb, it's just you.
Can
I shoot me some horses?
Rootin'-Tootin'. So yeah, Dead Space. Who picked this? Was it Tom?
No,
Was
me.
it
Mike.
It was
Mike?
me. I was...
It was me.
No, it wasn't. Fuck off.
Stop.
Because my reasoning was that... Because I was like, we have to play a decent horror game this year after fucking Silent Hill 3 last year. And I had I was glancing at dates and everything like that and realised that this just came under the wire for 10 years. And I've played this before and it's a PS3 favourite of mine. So I thought, fuck it, let's play it. I also thought it'd scare the bejeebus out of Dan.
And it didn't.
Yeah, surprisingly.
Bullshit.
Honestly, it didn't. It really didn't.
You didn't jump at all?
I went into it expecting to be scared, so the first half an hour or so, yeah, bit unnerved, but after that, not at all. Not at all.
So, Mike, give us the down and dirty about what Dead Space is.
Okay, so Dead Space is a science fiction survival horror game developed by EA Redwood Shores, which subsequently became known as Visceral Games, which are now defunct, actually. Came out on...
Way to go, EA!
Yeah. Oh, sidebar, like, you know, just before Visceral got shut down, they were working on a Star Wars game, and all the people that, like...
Oh, yeah, Star Wars 1313, right?
Was it that one, or was it another one? Basically, some game they were working on, and everyone that any journalists or gaming personalities or anything like that I heard that have seen it, have said that it looked amazing, and it was essentially Uncharted in the Star Wars universe.
Oh,
yeah, wasn't that called Project
Yeah,
Red
Amy
Tag?
Hennig, yeah. Oh, why did they not make that? Oh,
because they're EA.
Sounds
and they're
amazing.
going for a Battle Royale, probably.
Yeah.
Visceral Games made Dante's Inferno too, didn't they?
Oh, that was a good game as well.
Yeah.
I had a list of their releases.
Never played that.
and I've lost
They did
it.
The Godfather on PS2. That game was pretty good.
That was good.
Or PS3. What else did they do? Cyber Tiger on the PlayStation. Great golf game.
They did Lord of the Rings: Return of the King on PS2. That was ace.
Oh, that was a
Ooh,
game
really
and
fun.
a half. That
I
was.
loved that.
007 Agent Under Fire, GameCube.
Oh, Future Cop LAPD.
Oh, I never played the demo of that.
That was great.
I thought it was Future Cop
was
Lap
cool.
Dance.
It was.
Lap D.
They just got tired of typing and just put D.
Oh, they made Battlefield Hardline.
That game was great.
Never played it.
Play it.
But Agent Under Fire was really good. I loved that.
Yeah. Anyway, Mike, back to Dead Space. It's a game.
So yeah, survival horror game, third person. You play as a character called Isaac Clarke, who is basically like a space engineer.
Game about fixing things.
Is this Dino Crisis?
Yeah. The beginning of the game sees Isaac and a few other people, most notably someone called Kendra and someone called Zach. Zach Hammond is in charge of the mission. Kendra is like another just part of the team. You're heading towards a system that has a planet called Aegis 7, and you're going to answer a distress signal from a planet cracking ship called the USS Ishimura. Now the other they answer the distress call, but the other investment that Isaac has in this is that his girlfriend Nicole also sent him a radio message, essentially asking for help and for him to come. And he's watching that at the very beginning of the game. Isaac in this, he's a bit like Link. He's completely mute. They decided to voice him on the second game. So you never get any dialogue from Isaac himself, apart from a lot of grunting. And a lot of breathing heavily when he's nearly out of oxygen.
I think that's a mistake.
And I guess you get his notes as well in the mission objectives. He kind of writes in first person.
Well, I'm glad, though, that they decided to forego the mute protagonist for the second game.
Well, I was a big fan of this game when it originally came out. So I was excited for the second one. And there was you know how the fucking internet gets. They fucking hate everything. There was a big hoo-ha about the fact that he could speak, because in the early trailers he was obviously speaking in them, and they were like, Isaac Clarke should be silent. I still live with my mum.
Can you guys remember when Infamous 2 came out and they changed Cole's design?
Yeah, they changed the voice actor as well.
And he looked more like Nathan Drake, and everybody was in absolute up in arms about it.
The voice actor thing on that was a good call, though, because the first Infamous, he's like, I'm Cole McGrath. Cole McGrath. That really hurts. Sorry.
Eric, I preferred your synopsis you sent us on WhatsApp.
Oh, yeah.
Guy flies, basic overview, Guy flies to distant space church on the edge of the universe and cuts everyone's arms off.
It's a great synopsis of the game.
It is.
I'm not wrong.
But I'm not going to go through it sequentially, but essentially they get on the ship, the entire place seems deserted at first, and they end up going into this room, ends up going into quarantine.
Well, they don't just get onto the ship, they crash.
Well, yeah, they crash onto the ship.
Yeah, I mean,
they get no response from the Ishimura.
So they just decided to fuck their own ship up instead of docking like normal space people.
Why didn't they dock?
Well, because maybe they skipped that part of space driving.
Gravity tethers, or some other science fiction reason, wasn't it?
I don't know.
Tractor beam. They should have put the
I
tractor
blame
beam
shenanigans.
Yeah.
So they land.
Maybe they should have put her in R and reverse thrust it.
Put her in D.
Space D.
Put her in Space D.
But yeah, they end up. They end up in this.
Put her in
to
T
porno
for
I watched
thrust.
once.
Stephen.
Sir, that means tether and tractor beam. Holy shit, we're gonna crash.
Put her in W. Warp speed.
Put her in H for hyperdrive. I still like Space D.
Yep, Solid Snake on the side. Space D.
Space D.
A Space D.
Dan over there was like, "That's my space potato."
Space P.
Space P. All right, just over
Space
here
PP.
jacking my space P.
Vice Captain, put it in Space D.
You shouldn't shake it around when you're having a space pee.
You'll get space P everywhere.
Mom, I space peed on myself.
Yeah, so they crash into the
Lord.
ship. They discover that a bunch of shit's gone way wrong.
Yeah. A lot of
It's
shit.
not a nice ship.
Well, the crew seems to have transformed.
Into raging arm monsters.
Yeah, they all have really long arms at this point.
So Isaac and the two people with them get instantly killed, and then Isaac gets separated from Hammond and Kendra. And
Now Hammond's annoying. I found him to be a very annoying character because he was your stereotypical space marine of like, fuck logic, we gotta complete the mission. Who cares that this entire thing is full of wiggly arm monsters who want to kill us? We're gonna complete the mission, damn it.
Yeah, I don't care if you end up with PTSD.
And meanwhile, poor Isaac underneath his helmet as somebody's duct taped his mouth so he can't say anything, so he just cracks on.
Well, and all they do is boss him around like, Hammond, this doesn't work. Go over here and flip that switch. You gotta go through all those wiggly finger people. Turn it on.
I'm gonna have to get you to go spacewalk outside while there's asteroids attacking the hull.
Why
We
don't
need
you do
to
anything?
fix this thing on the other side of the fucking ship.
And then needs to go back to the other side and fix this other thing that you could have fixed while you're over there, but didn't get you to fix it then.
And I'm gonna stay up here in this sealed off room that's just full of beer.
And if you spot somebody called Regina on your travels, don't worry about it. She's fixing things too.
I'm gonna sip this hot cocoa.
If you see a T-Rex, run. We're getting our games crossed, guys.
I don't think we are.
Wait, crossed the streams.
Dino space.
Ghostbusters World.
God damn it! Nobody cares. Like, that game had zero interest from anyone aside from. I think actually they made it for you.
Yeah, they did, of course.
Yeah.
Good job working hard to fix that communications array, but now there's something else blocking it. Can you?
I tell you what I really like about this game, though.
How did a T-Rex get stuck in the communications array?
There's something organic in the way. Go deal with
American
it.
Tom is Hammond. The Dead Space movie, American Tom as Hammond. I'm surprised Dead Space hasn't been turned into a movie yet. Actually.
There was wasn't there a short about it? Like a short graphic novel?
Probably, because
That's
it
not a movie
really lends itself well to that medium. It's kind of like Alien in a way.
Yeah, it's a graphic novel short.
Now, I can't find the date from this webpage, but a webpage that I've got which has like some bits and bobs from the game that I looked up.
Like potato bits and bobs?
Yeah, maybe. In the kind of section that has like some bullet points about the game, it did say that EA were working on a live action version. I'm guessing that got dropped when Visceral disappeared. So maybe they were looking at it. Oh, there was an animated movie. Hang on. The animated movie and game depict the death of Captain Benjamin Mathias in slightly different... Yeah, because it's going on about how he dies in different ways. But yeah, there was an animated movie. I don't know what that's called, though. I will have a look.
Probably called Space Dead.
Dead Space Crisis.
Oh.
There was actually a on-rail shooter game called Dead Space Extraction as well. Which was on
came out for the Wii.
Yeah, on the Wii, and it was also on PS3 because you use your PS Move. Because when I bought Dead Space 2 originally, I got it when it first came out. It might have been a pre-order bonus, might not have been. I got Extraction with it. I did play some of it with the Move.
See, Dead Space is one of those IPs I can't believe they let die.
I know.
You haven't played the third one. Like the second one.
If they rebooted it now on PS4 and stuff with like amazing graphics, made it proper about survival horror again, it would sell like crazy.
This was one of the first big games that I played on the PS3, and I remember just because obviously it was HD for the first time as well. I marveled at the way the menus work and how it all just comes off like his arm and everything like that.
Well, that's one thing I remember about it too. Is it was one of the first truly immersive HUD.
And there's
I love that. I think it still holds up. It's fantastic.
Oh, it's still a beautiful game as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not bad at all for PS3.
But I remember actually, whilst I was playing Dead Space, my HD TV broke. There was something wrong with one of the speakers, and I took it back to the store, and they repaired it for me. But I had to use a standard definition TV for like 5 days, and I just couldn't play this because the HUD you couldn't read it. Like in standard definition, you just couldn't
Dead
read it
Rising
at all.
style.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Fallout 3 was like that as well with the text on their standard definition TV. It was horrible.
That's what kind of
You want
sucked
to
though
play
about
our
the
game? You got to upgrade, son.
That's what sucked about the early days of the PS3, Xbox 360 era is that they were trying to bridge that gap between appeasing standard def TV owners and people who were adopting the new format.
Yeah. I also like the it kept you immersed between scenes because there's not much loading time. Obviously, it's loading when you're opening doors or taking elevators, but it's quite cleverly done.
Well, I like
That's
they take a bit of a
bitch when
cue
there's
from
a monster behind you and you're trying to get through the door.
They take a bit of a cue from the original Resident Evil, where they use the doors to mask the loading screens. Whereas on this, because they're like kind of automatic doors, they use kind of the science fiction thing of it's authorizing you.
Yeah.
And it's very clever,
nice.
But yeah, like Dan says, sometimes if there's a monster there and a door that you came through almost instantly moments ago because of how the next bit started loading and things like that, sometimes it will take forever. I actually ran out of oxygen at one point because I was in a bit with no oxygen, obviously, and my timer was coming down, and I went to go back into the airlock before it, which normally opened almost instantly, but it took like over 20 seconds to open, so I actually died.
Oh.
Because obviously it's just a mass loading screen.
Oh, shit.
I tell you what I like about the structure of this game, though, is it's broken out into obvious chapters, but instead of just randomly running around the ship and having to do a whole shit ton of backtracking through places you've been before, each chapter is a different segment of the ship, and you get to each segment using a tram. So you take a tram to the mining deck, and you have to do something there, and then once you complete that, you head back to the tram to go to the next section of the ship that...
So you gotta go fix that there thing, and then you get, back to this tram, son.
Yeah, I thought it was a great way to break it up instead of saying, okay, go through this deck and do this, and then backtrack all the way through this, and then, like you had to do in the Resident Evil games, where you had to backtrack through a section that you've played 4 times.
Yeah,
I did like it, but I thought they could have been more creative by how you get from section to section rather than just going back to the tram.
I don't know, I kind of looked forward to it, because then I knew that, okay, this is the end of the chapter.
Yeah.
I like it when they randomly chucked a necromorph at you at the end, when you just think you're going back, and then there's just one more every time. Yeah.
So we should probably talk about the necromorphs, the actual creatures of the game.
The wiggly long arm dudes.
Limb guys.
The
they are
wacky
such
flailing.
Oh man, someone should mod it so that they are wacky wavy inflatable arm flailing.
Wacky waving inflatable arm flailing inflatable tube man.
So the crew have been infected by this. Well, you don't quite know how they're being infected at first, but they turn into these huge hulking monsters with giant claw limbs. They're the standard enemy anyway. And at the very beginning of the game, when you get your first weapon, which is the plasma cutter, which is like a laser pistol, which has 3 sights coming off of it, and it's secondary fire because each weapon on this has a primary fire, secondary fire. Secondary fire on this gun is basically you can change it from vertical and horizontal, which is a nice touch because the weak points of the monsters in this game, rather than being headshots or specific body shots or things like that, are the limbs. Very early on in the game, when you get the plasma cutter, written in blood on the wall, it says cut off their limbs. And that's how the weak points of the majority of the enemies, that is how you do it. So you shoot the legs off or the claws off and things like that. Which, considering
I like how that
fast
guy's written it in blood, by the way. Sorry, Mike, but he's been killed. So how it's not very effective, is it? 'Cause he's didn't think this through, really, did he?
Maybe he figured it out at the last moment. The limbs.
Carry on.
That's all right. But it makes for interesting fight mechanics on it because you're so conditioned for going for headshots in most other games that you often forget that you're... Well, at the beginning, you get used to it, obviously, but you often forget that you're supposed to be going for the limbs. And it's also a nice mechanic later on because you get something called kinesis, which you can use to move things in like a telekinetic kind of way. And one of my favourite things to do is shoot a claw off a necromorph, use a kinesis to pull it towards you, and then fire it at the necromorph. which is good fun.
I didn't know you could do that. That's cool.
Yeah, see, I didn't do any of that. I just shot body parts off.
I've completely forgot about kinesis and stasis until I needed them, to be honest, for the puzzles. And
Yeah,
things like
I would use them on Nemi when he would show up to slow him down.
that.
Space
We'll
Nemi.
get to Nemi.
Nemi.
But I love the limb targeting system. It's real cool. And as you said, the plasma cut is the first weapon you get, but really, it's the only weapon you need.
Well, I think what's important too, what Mike said, is that we're conditioned to shoot for the head, and they did something neat in this where you could shoot for the head and the head pops off, but it does not kill the enemy.
Sometimes they're not dead when they're on the floor as well. You got to stomp on them.
You can kill them by shooting the body. You're just wasting ammo, though. Just
Yeah,
takes a
you
hell
can
of a lot longer
typically
to
kill most enemies by shooting off both arms.
I thought, because a lot of ammo was quite sparse on this game.
See, I didn't think so at all.
Did you not?
No, God, no. I was always just full of razor blades and
Yeah, but
plasma
plasma
ammo.
energy, I think it really died off as you got.
Yeah, but you go to the store and
really
buy
does.
it.
Yeah, but I was buying
You only
other
get
stuff.
6.
Like
I
what?
wanted the upgrades.
Oh, I ended the game with the final suit and fully upgraded plasma and over 100 plasma rounds. I didn't think it was too sparse because that's the only gun I ever used, so I never bought anything else.
I think it picked up towards the end again, but there was a section in the middle where I noticed I wasn't getting as much plasma energy. I was getting more Ripper blades and things like that. Because the game gives you ammo for the weapons you have equipped, because you can only have 3 at a time. Or was it 4?
4
3 or
weapons.
4?
4.
4, yeah.
So I only
get
bought
ammo for them.
3 the entire game.
Yeah, see, my 3
maybe that's
favoured
why.
weapons. My 3 favoured weapons, obviously plasma cutter, pulse rifle, which is like a machine gun, and the line rack, which is like almost like a... It's a more powerful version of the plasma cutter, but it's much wider, and you can't make it vertical. But I always put a fourth...
I used those 3 pretty much.
I often put a 4th weapon in, so if you put the contact beam in your 4th slot, you'll get contact beam ammo, and you can sell the contact beam ammo for quite a bit of money. So you can then obviously either just buy ammo for the guns you want if you're short on one specifically, or you can do things to like use the money to get health packs and things like that. So that's a good thing to
As
do.
an aside point, who's buying it?
Who's what?
What do you mean?
Who's buying your stuff?
Oh,
Selling it to the store and throwing it on the floor.
That's a very good point.
See, I only did the plasma cutter, the Ripper,
Is it Nemi?
and
Break open the machine, and inside of it is that guy from Resident Evil 4. Welcome!
to the circus of value.
It's that weird Mothman from Onimusha. He's inside the machine.
Maybe each machine is just one of these different characters.
I like it when Isaac gets inside the machine and it upgrades his suit and it looks like it's jacked something up his arse when he's got inside it.
I forgot because I've played all 3 games in this series. I sometimes get some of them some parts of it mixed up, and I forgot how little the suit changes when you upgrade them in this one. Because on the second one, you get different suits and they look completely different.
He gets more shiny bits and stuff.
Yeah.
And more metal.
Yeah. Just extra bits of metal down his arm. That'll do.
He does really. Just graft that on there. I also really like the mechanic where you can upgrade your weapons on the bench. I think that's pretty cool.
I didn't like the fact that you had to put power nodes into empty spots. I felt
Did you say nerd?
power nerds.
Yeah, I barely upgraded my rig. I just focused on weapons.
No, I put all of my stuff into the rig and the plasma cutter, to be honest.
Yeah, I didn't do anything for stasis.
See, I don't think, because there's like a new game plus on this. You can go back through the game with all of your weapons and everything, and actually at the very end it gives you a load of credits and nodes as well. So I could be wrong, but I get the impression you can't actually fully upgrade everything in one playthrough.
You can also use power nodes to open certain doors as well, where there's optional secrets.
I used that
you have
every
to kind of
time.
decide.
Was it ever worth it?
Absolute
Because
shite in them rooms.
yeah, I hated
Really, I
wasting
always
them.
find they're useful. Like every single one, like Eric, every single one of those doors.
Every
I make sure
time.
I had a power node for, because you even get plenty of ammo, or you get the credits, which would be enough credits to buy a power node back anyway.
Yeah, a mixed bag for me. Like I say, sometimes I found what I needed, sometimes I didn't. But you know what I didn't realise until about halfway through? You know those daft green boxes that are on the floor? Didn't realise they had stuff inside.
Did you not?
Oh my
Fool.
god.
Maybe that's why he was so short on ammo.
I'll tell you one thing that I
Possibly.
didn't figure out immediately. To access the
controls.
menu, you have to press select, and that brings up your map. And then you can press L2 or R2 to move through the different tabs. I always found it super inconvenient that in the midst of battle, if I wanted to use a health pack, I have to press select, wait for it to load, and then hit L2. Then, like, second to last battle room of the game, I accidentally press triangle, and it brings me straight up to my inventory. I'm like,
Eric, you also realise you can just press square to automatically use a health pack.
Yes, you can.
didn't know that.
It literally tells you at the beginning of the game.
No, it doesn't.
Where to what?
Yes, it
Also
does.
use a-
It does.
Literally
What,
does.
to-
You just
to automatically use
hit,
a health pack.
hit square when you're not aiming, like just uses a health pack.
Yep.
Wow, I didn't
Don't
know
believe
that.
You never know which health pack you're going to use, so you might use your large one and you don't need it.
I found it was pretty good. Like if I didn't have enough health gone to use a large, and I had a small in my inventory, it just used a small with me.
So, did you guys find this creepy at all? Because, like I say, you know what I'm like with horror games, but it didn't freak me out, honestly.
I think I just felt the jump scares would get me, like as in just running, like when you're running back to the tram, and there might be one huge creature just around the corner, and it kind of would start on me
I
and
thought
take
they'd
you
be
by surprise.
really predictable.
I thought the one part that was the most unnerving, though, was the sound design, where you'd be walking around, you'd hear a wrench drop in the distance, or you could occasionally look up in the ceiling and see a necromorph walking above the tiles, and you would hear somebody cackling off in the distance.
Or
I guess
this,
you're not-
I just treat it more as an action game towards the end.
later on in the game as well, like if you've got your volume up far enough, because it's quite subtle, you just hear voices going Isaac over and over again as well, which is cool. Yeah, the sound design in this is great. It's absolutely fantastic. Like from the science fiction kind of space noises that you'd expect to the monsters to, like we said, the atmosphere. You know, there's bits where you just hear this haunting voice singing "Twinkle Twinkle Little Star" and things like that.
Yeah, that old chestnut.
Yeah.
The only bit that really freaked me out is Space Nemi. I do not like that guy.
I think
It's
that's
just-
such a cheap and shitty enemy tactic. I can't stand things like that.
Regenerators.
Yeah, it's just-
Basically, he's just Nemi from Resident Evil, but necromorphy. And he follows you around everywhere.
He's only in like one section of the game.
Three
but then he comes back
sections, yeah.
for 3?
3 section.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, right, yeah.
he shows up initially, then he shows up a second time where you have to. And I did kind of like how they put you in a room with him and you have to deduce how to get away. The first couple times, it's just a straight up like, hey, shoot him and waste a bunch of ammo and survive long enough till I can bypass the lock on this door. Then the second time was, you assume that's what you have to do, so you burn a bunch of ammo and then realize, like, okay, this isn't working. And you're in a room that has a cryo chamber, and you have to lure him into that cryo chamber, put him in stasis, and then run back and activate it, and it freezes him.
That second time he showed up, I got myself into a loop where I didn't have much ammo, I was low on health, and you were going through a section where there was no oxygen, and he was there, and I ended up just having to freeze him and run past him because it was just, he killed me about 4 times.
You still have to be careful though, because even when you use the stasis to slow things down, they can still damage you quite badly.
Yeah.
Uh,
And then the door didn't open quick enough, so he caught me. Got that loading screens.
But yeah, the cryo one, and then the one later on was the one I liked the best, where
Oh, yeah.
you're trying to
Burning with the
activate
engine.
you're trying to activate the shuttle, and you can test fire the rockets on the shuttle, so you get him in the right position, either shoot him down so he's on the floor for a few moments, or stasis him and go back and then just burn him to a crisp. I did really like that.
You fucking slag, cutting off more limbs and burning me with an engine! Don't you know who I am? I'm Space Nibby! Stars.
Literally stars everywhere.
in the space.
Stars in the sky.
So I suppose we should mention the anti-gravity bits.
Oh yeah.
The zero guidance bits.
Zero guidance.
Sometimes they would hurt my brain because I would not be sure which way I was facing.
Oh yeah, try the zero G kickball or whatever it is, basketball.
Z-ball.
Z-ball?
Yeah, but
Probably worse than blitzball, but I can't say definitively.
Yeah, I'll
'cause
have no bad mouthing of blitzball.
blitzball
Blitzball.
is shit.
it's not.
Awful.
Ugh.
What's happened here, guys, is Eric has not figured out the controls.
Nope.
And
It is impossible to beat.
did you unlock the eject shot?
No, because nobody likes that game.
I do.
Nope, you're
I'm
wrong.
pretty sure a lot of people like that game.
I think you're wrong.
And on
game?
X2, you have the Splitsball Football Manager Simulator.
Ugh. Anyway, continue. Zero guidance bits.
Yeah, so Tom, you were saying you got a bit mixed up.
Yeah, it was just because when you'd enter zero gravity, you'd often have to, if you're aiming, you could then hit. I was playing the game on 360. If you hit Y, you can then jump and land on that opposite wall, and then suddenly your perspective changes, so the room can be completely switch over. You're just trying to understand how to get between different areas, because I think there's one bit later in the middle, I think it was like chapter 5, where you have to actually jump through these like gates, and it can be really confusing. It took me a while to try and find how to unlock my way into the next area. And
Which bit really confused me was the bit with when you have to release the asteroid and you have to jump
Yeah.
onto the asteroid and then go
Oh,
around
yeah.
the outside of it, Mario
Yeah,
Galaxy
that-
styley,
I had to
and go outside
look that up.
into space.
I had to look that
I
up
did
'cause
as
I
well.
wasn't sure how to do it.
Because I kept jumping on it and just getting killed by the stupid rings going round it every time. I was like, what am I doing
Yeah.
wrong?
Yeah, it kept telling me to remove the 4 tethers, and I could get the first 2 in the room where the asteroid is, but then I just didn't know what I was supposed to do, like how to get outside to place the beacon. So I kind of killed
I couldn't
time
even
there,
figure
not
out that
knowing
bit.
what
I
to
knew I had to fix something, but I didn't know what.
I mean, that's 90% of the game. See, the good thing is, Tom, because I know you really enjoyed this game, and you bought the
Yeah.
second one, didn't you? Ready to play. The great thing about the
Yeah.
second one is they completely revamp the zero gravity bits. So the suit
Nice.
in the second one has little thrusters on it, so you actually control yourself like floating through the air rather than just jumping from surface to surface.
Oh, that's cool.
So you kind of
Yeah,
like
that's
move
really
around
cool.
like a very slow Iron Man.
Oh, awesome! Yeah,
Isaac, man.
honestly, I really, really loved this game. I wasn't expecting to enjoy it as much as I did.
Me too,
And-
Tom.
Yeah, it's really cool, and even just little, like you said, Mike, with the sound design. I love it when you're outside, like in space, and everything's kind of muffled, and it makes it even scarier when you've got these necromorphs and they're just completely silent almost, and you can just hear your muffled machine gun as you're trying to kill them. It's just really neat.
That's so cool.
Yeah, just really, really enjoyed the whole experience. Like, it kept me immersed, especially with, like we said, the no loading between scenes, and the upgrade system was really, really neat. Yeah, and
I think the level design is actually really well thought out as well, because they kind of loop back on each other a lot of the time as well. So per chapter, you'll often find yourself, instead of having to trek back through the whole thing, you'll find yourself looping back, which was a really good touch, I thought.
Yeah, totally. That's why I bought the second one. I thought, well, if this is an improvement on the original,
Yeah, I went out and
I
bought
know.
both the second and third just in preparation.
yeah,
But we can't play the second until 2 years, right?
Ugh.
yeah, it's fine. It'll just stay on the shelf.
So, I suppose we definitely have to talk about, definitely the first boss, the giant butthole.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah. Eric's nemesis, in other words.
I struggled with him for a
Amazed to have
bit.
beat him first time.
Yeah.
Oh, no, second time. I died the first time.
Oh, I probably had a crack at him about 13 times.
I can't believe you struggled with it.
Man, what happened?
So let me admit something. I forgot that I could use kinesis on the little poop corn balls that he throws at you, and throw those back at him. So I was
Is that who
dodging.
he is? He's the great and mighty Pooh back for...
Yeah, he's
revenge
shooting
fight.
cornfield poop nuggets at you. I forgot about doing that. So I'm running around those, and then as soon as they would stop, you'd have a microsecond to turn and shoot into his mouth, and I kept running out of ammo because then you'd have to shoot the arms that come out. So I'd get down to there being 1 or 2 arms left, and I'd be out of plasma energy, and I'd have to switch to using my Ripper blade, which I hadn't upgraded, and it just wouldn't cause any damage, and then I would die. So as soon as I recalled, I can just grab the things that he's shooting, grab the last one, fire it back in, I beat him the first try on that.
So basically what you've done is ignored the controls of the game.
No, I just forgot about one of the mechanics.
I mean, you didn't even know you could use a health pack by pressing square for one as well.
Well, they should have told you.
They do. They literally tell you at the beginning.
Who reads that shit?
Everyone!
Tom, did you know you could do that?
I'm going to put my hands up and say I actually didn't know you could do that.
Thank you.
Tom, letting the side down.
God, it's catching.
It
must be that side of the world.
Menu and taking a med pack
There's something in the air.
in the middle of being slaughtered.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
How did you get through this game?
Yeah.
I got good.
By playing it wrong.
No.
I like to make life harder for myself.
Yeah. I like to give myself a challenge.
The butthole boss was really cool, though. I thought it was great.
It was a neat boss because you're in a 0G room walking around the walls.
And it's just a giant mass of flesh.
Now, those tentacles of his, those are the ones that when you're walking down a hallway will randomly bust out and go into like a interactive cutscene where you have to shoot the arm off or it drags you into its mouth and kills you, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I thought that was the last boss. Oh, no, because that's on the planet.
Well, they're all kind of the same creature.
Well, there is the other one on the outside that you shoot with the machine gun, don't you?
Oh, yeah. Oh, we need to talk about those bits. How do we find those
Ugh.
Well, the first asteroid bit was a pain in the ass.
Oh my god.
bits? So there's these sections where you end up sitting in a cannon where you have to shoot asteroids coming towards the ship, which haven't been hitting the ship much when you haven't been shooting at them, but as soon as you're shooting at them, they're going to destroy the ship.
Well, no, so they preface that. You have to go, you're actually realigning the ship, and you have to go through an asteroid field.
Yeah, also
But they're already
what she
hitting
said,
the ship, so why don't they destroy the ship before that?
No, Daniel, I think you're forgetting that basically Kendra says that the things that automatically shoot them are basically not going to stop working, so he has to go there to manually shoot them while she fixes them, because after you finish the asteroid section, it then starts shooting them itself.
I will apologise to Kendra then.
Yeah, Dan, did you even pay attention? It literally tells you.
Don't apologise to Kendra.
It literally tells you. Oh, dear.
Do you even read?
Shit up, Eric.
Hell, in this point, this instance, they tell you. You just have to listen.
I don't listen.
This took me five attempts to get it right. I just kept getting right. It felt like they were almost ready to fix it, and I would just lose out at the end.
I ended
really
up
tough
beating
because
it with like 4% left.
Some of the asteroids would fly, and they would almost be out of your camera view, and you just couldn't quite get the analog stick all the way to that side, and then try and make it back to the middle again to center yourself.
I think a certain amount are meant to hit you. You couldn't physically hit them all.
I'm pretty sure. I feel like it's unavoidable to not have at least a few strike.
Yeah,
it's probably to heighten up the tension. It's a trick.
Yeah.
I think there's a trophy where if you finish it with a certain percentage of hull left, it's the trophy's called "Don't Get Cocky," which is obviously the Star Wars bit. Yeah.
Amazing.
So can we talk about the fact that in the middle of this everything going to shit later on, that Isaac can stop off for about 20 minutes on the shooting range and also play 0G basketball for a good 20 minutes as well?
Well, it's important to maintain a little bit of fun in your life.
Well, as we find out later on, Isaac, he's not well.
He is not a stable man.
Yeah. So, should delve a little bit more into the story? Sort of around those middle parts?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, shall we get more high-pitched?
So, basically what happens is you discover that you've stumbled upon a church.
Yeah,
So they've gone... Let me see if I understand this, because...
Okay.
All right, everyone, I'm Space Nemi.
Here's the Church of Nemi! You must worship the stars!
You sound like you're dying.
Well, everybody is dying. All right, so what happened...
That's a philosophical one for you.
The Ishimura is, like Mike said, a planet cracker, and they are on, what, their 35th?
Something like that, yeah.
Attempt
So it's
to
in a
crack
future
this
where
planet?
resources are low, and the Ishimura is this famous ship that was the first of its kind to go and start like getting resources from cracking other planets.
And in the process of cracking this planet, they've discovered something called the marker.
Which
And-
looks like, you know, when you put a napkin into that weird like bishop hat kind of shit. It looks like that, but made with a red napkin.
Jesus.
Do you think maybe the visceral team were out for dinner one night and saw that?
That was the starting of this game. Yeah, that's a neat napkin. Let's make
So
a
we
horror
got this
game.
thing that looks like a bishop's hat. Where do we go from here?
At least it didn't look like the brown ballerina.
Oh god.
Okay, so then they discover this marker, and the marker has an adverse effect on people.
Sure
I don't
does.
like how does the initial infection happen? But essentially, what happens is this Church of Unitology springs up, and people start worshiping this marker.
So you actually find out later on that the marker that they dig up from the planet isn't the original marker. There was an original marker found on Earth years ago, which started this Church of Unitology. And people believe that basically in death you will find more life, and it's through the powers of the marker. So on Aegis 7, you know, these colonists, they you're led to believe, because it does change a little bit later on, you're led to believe that, you know, they found the marker. It starts driving people insane, so they start like
Hysteria
killing people,
and
killing
paranoia.
themselves. Yeah, start killing each other and all things like that. And
Shut up, Siri. I didn't say Siri. I said hysteria, not hey Siri. Shut up.
and then also the creatures, one of them gets on board and starts infecting people, and the unitologists that are on board, they believe that this is actually the life after death that is granted. So dying and becoming these beings is getting one step closer to their version of God.
And that's where Dr. Kine comes in.
Yeah. Well, I say that it changes later on. You later find out that the captain is actually a unitologist, and the marker itself is on Aegis 7 as an experiment. So they wanted to experiment with it to see what it could do, and that's why the planet's been cracked, and the Ishimura shouldn't actually have been there doing this mission. And the captain made sure he had loads of unitologists on board to basically get through, you know, try and get through this and use the marker. And there's another extremist on board that I can't remember the name of, and he, through the hysteria, manages to get loads of people to kill themselves, to sacrifice themselves.
Well, yeah, even though this second marker is a reverse engineered version of the original, it still has the same homicidal and paranoia effects.
Those damn bishop hats.
Because you do encounter another ship, your beacon, the USM Valor ends up coming along, doesn't it?
But they're coming to wipe you out because you've been naughty and cracking the planet when you shouldn't be, right?
Yeah. But
So
they answer the distress signal that they send out that Isaac and Kendra send out on the beacon.
I thought this was really good storytelling because they'd sent out the escape pod earlier on with a necromorph in, and they pick up this escape pod and then they get overwhelmed by the necromorphs because that's what happens.
Well, and what's really cool is that when you get onto the Valor, the crew of the Valor was a more technologically advanced crew. They had all of the stasis stuff
Well, they're
built
suited up for
into
battle,
their
weren't they?
suits. What's that?
They were suited up for battle, essentially.
Yeah. So when they became necromorphs, the stasis component melded into their current body. So now these new versions of the necromorph were able to move even faster.
Yeah, they're freaky as hell. I like them though.
They kind of look like the nurses,
You're
like
a
how the
freaky,
nurses.
but I like you.
I like how the nurses in Silent Hill move with that like janky, almost stuttery frames motion.
Yeah, but they start doing that, then the next thing you know, they're like right up in your grill. So like, good.
I found them easier to kill though. You didn't necessarily have to shoot their arms off. With a fully upgraded plasma cutter, it's just 3 bullets to the gut and they're dead.
I'll tell you which enemy I didn't like much, the big necromorphs, the ones where you have to shoot them and then they fall down, you got to shoot them in the back.
Oh,
they were a bit
yeah.
annoying. They were total bullet sponges.
Usually got a node or like a decent amount of credits for them, though.
I didn't like the little crawly things that would just swarm you and you had
forgot
to
about
keep
them
tapping
things.
A. Ugh.
Now, Mike, you always said in the chat on WhatsApp that the flamethrower is the most useless weapon in the game.
Well, right, the force gun
I think for the tiny ones, I think that would be probably the best weapon.
But it all happens so quick, you'd have to have it equipped and ready, right? Because sometimes you can just go around the corner and you're just suddenly swarmed by these things. And then it's over.
The bad thing about them was how much damage they did.
Yes. But the other one as well is, I can't remember which enemy it is. It's one of the larger necromorphs. Once you kill them, like 4 small, tiny ones come out. They're not the really tiny ones, but they're like...
Yeah, like the bloater guys with the big guts.
Oh, yeah, the really skinny ones. Yeah. I think you're about, Tom.
No.
They're so hard to shoot.
Oh, yeah.
They've got
the ones that look like little octopus?
Yeah.
But the bloated guys, Eric, you just had to make sure you shot the limbs off and then the little creepy guys wouldn't come out.
I like the guys that look like they had little balls of honey on their arm that would explode.
Oh, yeah.
They're my least favourite because they creep up on you sometimes and end up fucking killing you.
Yeah, they just smash their hand into the ground and explode. But you can use those to like little bombs to blow up a bunch of other people. So you stasis some people and then wait for some guy to walk up on him and then shoot his arm and kill a bunch of people.
Nice. I didn't do that, but that's a good tactic.
What did you think about the guys who were attached to the walls? They were annoying.
I loved those guys. The first one that I came across, I made the mistake of getting too close and they shoot out that spire and then kill you.
Yeah, I did that as well.
The death scenes for Isaac in this game are great.
Well, that's what they're famous for. If you go, the game is quite famous for. If you go onto YouTube and search the many deaths of Isaac Clarke, there's so many of them. I think one of my favorite deaths is, those creatures that come off the tall, skinny guys that Tom was on about that have the like little octopuses. Some of them have like baby heads on them. They look like if that character from Toy Story that's the baby head with a Meccano had sex with a fucking octopus. If one of those manages to kill you, it rips your head off, and then its tentacles bury into Isaac's neck, and then basically you just see Isaac walking around with this like baby head.
No. Oh, that's awful.
Did you see the one where Nemi kills you? That was brutal.
Did you get killed by the final boss at all?
No.
Oh,
I think it was easy.
That one, that was a great death. See, it was long too. It just kept going.
So does the Nemi one. He impales Isaac with both his like really bladed arms, then chops off all of his limbs, then just knocks his head off. It was insane.
Jesus.
There are actually more death scenes ending with Isaac's decapitation than any other variation of death in the game, I found as well. I thought I had an exact number of the differences, but that's all I've got.
Isaac Clarke doing death scenes before Tomb Raider made it cool.
Yeah, some of them are fucking cool.
Well, at least his didn't involve rape.
I love the bits when, like, you oh, Jesus. Like, when a door that's moving too quickly that you have to use stasis on, you try and go through, but then the stasis runs out and you just get fully decapitated between a metal door. It's so good.
There's some neat little uses of the stasis. You know, the section towards the end where you're going through the fan vents and got to slow down the fan blades, and you've got enemies coming at you, so you can time it so that they get all chopped up. Or the little section with the surgery robot that's gone crazy.
Oh yeah, that was cool. I like that.
I made the mistake of trying to grab one of the items on the left-hand side and didn't have enough time and got lasered to bits.
Same thing happened to me.
So, Kendra, sorry, you were going to mention Dr. Kine before, Eric.
Yes.
So Dr. Kine, basically, he kind of sees all this going on, and you end up seeing a video of him trying to relinquish the captain's control, because he's the only person who can, and he tries to sedate him, but ends up accidentally killing him. But you end up meeting him later on, and he's saying the only way you can fix all this is by returning the marker to the planet.
Is it accidental, though? Like, he stabs him in the head.
Hang on, so is Dead Space Final Fantasy VII as well, because they're returning it to the planet?
Yes. Maybe. Well, on a plot analysis that I got, it says, while Kyne did not appear to want to kill the captain and the death may have been a freak accident, it may also have been a momentary loss of control as the marker on the ship caused the same homicidal paranoia experienced on the colony. So maybe? But you end up meeting Dr. Kyne later on, and he wants to get the marker to the planet because there's a hive mind down there, and basically if you calm the hive mind by returning the marker to the planet, all of the other necromorphs will cease to function.
But are they returning the real marker or the reverse-engineered marker?
The reverse-engineered one, which I don't think it's really touched upon as to whether that actually works or not with how the ending actually goes.
No, I read up on this because it was unclear. Apparently, it does pacify the hive mind, but Kendra, who betrays you, sets it when the marker is done. That creates what is known as dead space, which pacifies the hive mind. And then Kendra,
That's why it's called Dead Space.
You see, and then Kendra reverses this, and that's why the hive mind goes nuts and smashes her to bits, and then tries to kill Isaac as well. And
that's the thing.
That's when you have to knock the asteroid into the planet to kind of blow it up.
Yeah. But that's when Kendra turning on you, so Dr. Kyne is trying to help you get the marker to the planet, and he's just about to take it down, and she shoots him, and basically reveals that she's been working for the government the entire time, and that Aegis 7 has been, the entire system has been an experiment for them, and she wants to stop you returning the marker to the planet. Doesn't she want to take it back to Earth? I can't remember.
I don't remember.
I think she's just trying to steal it or something for the government's purposes or something to that effect. So is she not working for unitology or something?
I can't remember. I don't, because she never mentions unitology herself, does she? I don't think.
Does she not?
But, and Tom, I'm afraid this is where you get the ending spoiled, but throughout the game you finally meet up with Nicole, Isaac's girlfriend, but you never really spend any proper time with her. And she does act a little bit strange in places as well. And then towards the end of the game, you do actually get to be in the same room with her and things like that. And it's Kendra who later on, you're locked behind some glass, and she is telling Isaac or plan everything. She's taking the marker back, and it's just before she gets killed. And she says something along the lines of, "I liked you, Isaac, even though you're insane." And she's like, "Watch Nicole's video, but watch it to the end," because she never watched it to the end. And you actually realise that in the video, Nicole kills herself by injecting herself with something.
So all the way through, I kind of realised that something was up with that, so it wasn't that impactful on me. So I was like,
it is quite obvious.
I noticed how she didn't seem to be interacting with the world itself. Like, there's a section where you have to protect her while she's using a computer or something, and necromorphs are trying to attack her, and she just doesn't even react. Yeah. So I was like, well, is she really there?
See, I just thought I was really good at keeping her safe.
There's other little subtle things as well. So if you watch carefully, when she contacts you over the radio and you see a video of her, like sometimes it'll flicker and it'll be like a skull. Her face will turn into a skull and things like that as well.
Oh, I never caught that.
Yeah, so there's things like that. But then there's also the room where you finally get to be next to her rather than across from something. You noticed all the panels are going crazy with all the language from the markers. Yeah, there's little subtle hints like that. But did you guys know that this game actually spoils its ending very slowly all the way through?
No.
Okay, so have something ready for you to type some letters into. I'm going to read out the chapter names, and I want you to take the first. I want you to take the first letter of every single one.
Does it say Nicole is dead?
It certainly does. Which is cool. I love it. That's why. Do you remember when I said to you?
Bastards.
Do you remember I said to you? I know that there's 12 chapters when we were discussing how many there was.
That's why.
I worked it out, and that's why I said to you, don't look at it.
Got it.
But when we were on the Unwrapped and I went quiet and I said I was reading something, it's because I was reading something on this trivia page that just didn't fucking make sense. Let me find it. It was to do with that makes no sense at all. Anyway, first letter from each chapter spells the name Nicole is dead. Okay, fine, works. And then it says the end of each word is a boss fight. So the Leviathan at the L and the E at the end of Nicole. Makes sense. The slug at the S of is, which makes sense. But then this is literally how it reads. It goes, and the hive mind at the second D of dead. But hive mind is an H and an M. I don't understand. Am I missing something here?
Oh, this is interesting. With the exception of Isaac and Nicole, all of the main cast of characters die in the chapters that make D-E-A-D.
Yeah.
Hammond dies in Dead on Arrival, Callus Mercer in End of Days, Dr. Terence Kyne in Alternate Solutions, and Kendra in Dead Space.
Very sneaky. As Tom disappeared, so I didn't spoil anything.
Kendra was damn close to making it out of there alive.
She was, but she got smashed to bits.
Well, she stopped to scream.
That old chestnut again.
Yeah. Good Lord. You guys didn't like the final boss. I thought the final boss was awesome. I mean, it was a bit generic, but like the boss fight itself, I thought it was really cool.
I didn't like it. I thought it was really generic.
I think some of the bigger enemies in this game, they sort of err on that side that the Resident Evil series kind of was doing around Resident Evil 5 and 6, where all of the big bads are just like a gelatinous mess. No real full design goes into it. You know, like going back to the Resident Evil reference, you know, all the enemies had these really nice designs and interesting things, and then you get to a point in the series where, like the Ouroboros in Resident Evil 5 is just like a mess of tentacles and shit like that. And that's how this game is with some of the bigger enemies, like the bigger bosses. They are just a big hulking mass of flesh with bits coming off them.
Oh, this trivia section's dead interesting. Listen to this. With the exception of just 3 scenes in the game, Isaac spends almost the entire game physically separated by glass barriers or gaps from all other human characters.
So maybe that lends credence to your analysis that you put in the WhatsApp chat of maybe he's just chopping up Jim and Bob while he's on break at work.
Yeah, because he's mental, isn't he? So...
Well,
there's every chance it's all in his head.
It's not really a spoiler for the second one because it kind of opens up with it, but the second one it deals a lot with his PTSD and his mental health following the incident, all this that's happening in Dead Space 1, and it's very interesting, especially since the fact that he talks in the second one as well.
Yeah.
He spends a lot of the game questioning what he sees and things like that, which is good. But yeah, the first time I played this, like the Nicole thing was quite, like you said, Dan, it was quite obvious. But that twist at the end where he knew already that she was dead because he'd seen the video but wouldn't continue to watch it.
What? She's dead?
Yeah.
Has anybody seen Nicole?
She's my girlfriend.
She's in space.
But what I like
I
is
gotta go fix something.
Something a bit sneaky earlier on that I didn't think about until this morning. There is a point earlier in the game where Kendra is talking about how she can see her dead brother. And the mark is like making her see him. And it's interesting because later on she turns on you and she knows that Nicole is dead and she knows that Isaac knows that she's dead. So is she planting some seeds?
I think she's just a twat, to be honest. Yeah.
Possibly.
Yeah, but I do love that final scene as well, though. The little jump scare at the end.
See, I thought it was all done, so I stopped paying attention, and then I looked up, and then it was the credits are on, so I kind of like, what just happened?
Oh, so you didn't see it?
I have seen it. I watched it back.
Oh, okay, yeah, I liked it. But yeah, I love this game. It was nice to revisit it.
I got to the end, and I was
a lot.
very
I did a lot more than I thought I would.
Yeah,
I thought I was going to be pooing my knickers for a week straight, but I didn't, and I enjoyed it.
You were quiet, Tom. Did you disappear for the spoilers, or are you now spoiled?
Yeah.
Okay.
I did. I just kind of dipped in and out because I was like, I'm aware there's something big because I'm right near the end. I just couldn't quite finish last night.
Yeah, I should have known about those.
We all kind of finished with similar times, didn't we?
You and I have this weird habit of being within minutes of each other.
I know, it's bizarre. What was my 8 minutes? 12?
8 minutes?
16? 8 hours. I'm very good at Dead Space.
Speed run through, brah.
Using all them glitches straight to the last boss.
No, I'm glad you guys enjoyed this because sometimes when we suggest a game and like none of us like it, it's like it can be a bit disheartening, especially when you choose a game and then you hate it yourself. But when you get to recommend a game and a close group of friends have actually enjoyed it because they've never played it before, like it makes me happy.
Does it give you a warm glow?
I'm looking forward to when we can do the second one, though, because apparently that game is stellar.
Oh, the second one is phenomenal, Eric. Honestly, it's so good. It takes everything that is great about the first one and makes it even better.
And then the third one shits all over it.
Yeah, the third one's shit.
That's the way it goes. No,
The only good thing about the third one is the weapon crafting system. So the second one is very much like the first one, where you just enhance the weapons using nodes, but the third one, you can combine different bits of weapons and essentially create your own weapons. Which is nice. But EA are fucking all over it, making money. I mean, the DLC for Dead Space 1 is all like weapons and suits to make the game easier. So you get more powerful weapons and souped up suits and things like that. And then the second one is a similar sort of thing.
And the third one's loot boxes.
Yeah, probably. Wouldn't surprise me. But the worst thing about the third one as well is it's actually multiplayer. You can play through it 2-player.
Yeah,
but,
co-op guy.
Yeah, but the second guy is just like, he's out of nowhere and he doesn't really say very much because he, obviously if you play through single player, they don't really want him there. They don't integrate him very well. And then there'll be cutscene. Like, you won't see him for ages because obviously you're not playing co-op. And then randomly he's there in a cutscene for Isaac to talk to. And then, like, moments later he's disappeared again.
It's in Isaac's head.
No, I think he's actually real. But it just seems like it didn't get the same love as the first and second one.
So that's Dead Space. Arm monsters, space Nemi, fun times.
Hearty play it.
Good
I
show.
honestly thought I'd be terrified. I thought I wouldn't make it through. I didn't think I'd love it quite as much, nearly as much as I ended up. So, nice recommendation, Mike.
Guys, guess what?
Something about Mega Man.
We have an email.
Oh my
Shit.
God,
What?
Fucking love it when we get emails.
I miss emails.
Send us more emails.
You can send us an email at factorysealed@manatank.com from JH AYCH called Necromorph Mnemonics.
Is he related to Triple H?
No.
He's a wrestler, Eric.
He took the word necromorphs and made some mnemonics. No Eric crying rape of Mega Man or rape parallel hurt someone. Get it? Because I don't know where all this came from, but he did like 3 or 4 of them. But his main question is, will there be a meetup when the boys are in town? I live in the East Valley. Eric knows what I mean.
Is it the valley to the east?
Yes. Phoenix is a valley, and it's in the east.
It's not where the cannibals live, is it?
I'd be willing to say one night we'll probably be out at one of the bars, and we could say, hey, this is where we'll be. Because I know there's a few
all the
people
listeners
here.
should just get Royal Rumble tickets and meet us there.
Yeah, we'll be the drunk people off in left field.
Yeah.
All wearing GW skydiving on shark shirts.
I'll be the guy holding the giant Eric's head sign.
Oh, please do this. I really want you to.
What is it?
Oh my God.
You know, like people take signs to the wrestling.
Signs to the rest. Yeah, so I want a giant one just of your head.
I'll get it
Please do
made.
Thank you. I will take it
It gets on
seriously.
TV.
I'm going to design a shirt for all of us that is just going to be terrible. Poorly photoshopped and everything.
Has someone got a necromorph in their rafters?
Probably Ragsy.
Oh God, here he is.
But no, I think we should definitely do an official meetup.
Yeah, because I know that we've got Ben Caruth, JH. I think there's 1 or 2 other people, maybe with enough notice. We've got someone in Northern Arizona, Jason McGill, I think.
Be good to do on the Saturday because then obviously people don't have work the next day and stuff.
Yeah, I know that Zach is flying into town for just to come in and
Remind me
see
not
you
to go
guys.
to the toilet with him.
Yeah, just don't poke your head under the door. You'll be fine.
Mike, I'm going to the toilet. Would you like to come with me? No, you're all right, mate. Thank you.
Fantastic impression of Zach. That was just absolutely spot on.
Well, it's just the way you said it. I hope I don't go to the toilet with them. Like, when do you go to the toilet with guys?
I don't know, when you're at a bar and you both go to the toilet.
No, I generally
I'm not
don't
implying.
go.
I'm not implying that I'm going to go in there and hold his dick for him while he pisses, am I?
Yes.
All right. Okay.
You said you were a pervert earlier. It all comes full circle, Michael.
Actually, I did do that for a guy once.
Oh my god. That's another story.
Tell us more.
It's not a very interesting story, but you know the guy who was best man at my wedding? When we were at college together, he used to always say before I went to the toilet, he goes, "Oh, Mike, come to the toilet with me. Doctor told me not to lift anything heavy." And it was just one day, like, I was just went, for fuck's sake. And then one day I just went, all right, then, go on, let's do it. This is went to the toilet, held his dick for him while he pissed. He never said it again.
That's one of the most disturbing things I've ever heard.
Fair enough. Dan, you posted something on Facebook, facebook.com/group/Factory Sale Podcast, for some questions.
I did. First question is from Mark Marcheski. Do you have a preference for horror-themed games like this, /Doom, that give you power and vast weaponry, or ones that make you frail with limited attacks?
I think there's a fine balance.
I like to be limited attacks and scary and stuff.
But, you can take it too far, like Silent Hill started doing later in their franchise, where they'd give you weapons that break.
Weapons breaking is fucking... I hate it anyway. Like,
I hate that.
It was the worst part of Breath of the Wild.
Here's your sledgehammer that's designed to tear down concrete walls, but you can only hit a flesh bag 6 times before it snaps in half.
It's been a long time since everything was made in Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, that's one thing I did hate about that game, that if they could go back and change something.
It would be good. I don't mind the weapon breaking mechanics in Breath of the Wild if they didn't just break after like 3 hits. You get like a fucking sword and use it 3 times and it's just shattered into pieces.
Well, and then when you get really cool stuff, you're like, I want to use this, but no, I can't.
You end up just keeping hold of it because you like it too much.
Dude, my inventory was disgusting in that game.
Yeah.
But yeah, back to the question. I like being because I love horror games. So I love it when you feel like at the next moment you could die because you haven't got enough ammo and things like that. I mean, I played through Resident Evil 7 finally this year, and I loved that.
Did you beat it?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
shit.
It tails off a bit towards the end. The downside, I wanted to play through the entire thing in VR, but that game specifically gives me such motion sickness that I could only play it like 15, 20 minutes at a time with the VR.
See, I just got too damn scared with it in VR.
Yeah, it was scary, but I loved it still. If it wasn't for the motion sickness, I would have played the entire thing in VR. I thought it was great. But yeah, for a horror game for me is that. I mean, but predominantly my first delving into proper horror games was the original Resident Evil and Resident Evil 2 and things like that. So I love being limited and not too much inventory management, but knowing that I've only got X amount of bullets, I need to take this item here, things like that. And I love atmosphere as well. That's the main thing. I do like a good jump scare, don't get me wrong. But when it comes to horror, I love atmosphere. I mean, the original Silent Hill, for example, that game's entire basis of horror is in its atmosphere. And looking back at it now, it looks shit, but at the time, that thing scared the shit out of me. I remember playing that in the dark, and just those moments where the air raid sirens would come on and the world would start to change, and that shit me up. That did.
Well, see, and I think we've talked about that before when we did the first and second Silent Hill. Is there's a difference in horror games. You've got your straight up violent jump scare, and then you've got your psychological horror games, which kind of ties into Dalton Suter's question in the vein of horror games. What game has absolutely terrified you the most? On the same note, any favorite horror films? I think Silent Hill 2, for me, was the most terrifying horror game I've ever played, simply because of the psychological aspect of it. It wasn't overly...
It was a freaky game.
Yeah, it wasn't overly violent, and there weren't many jump scares, but it's like that element of, I don't know what's there.
You're
always really proud of myself for beating that, because as you know, with the first Silent Hill, I stopped because I just couldn't do it, and Silent Hill 2 was my turning point.
Is that the one that you played on easy?
That was the one I played on easy. But I played through Dead Space on medium, and I've got the picture to prove it and everything.
Also known as normal.
Yes.
I found the original Silent Hill terrifying years ago, and I went through it on when we did the show. That I played it as a 11-year-old, I think, and it was just I played the demo because the demo came with the original Metal Gear Solid on PS1, and I still find it really unsettling, that first game, and the second one. Obviously, it just turns it up to 11.
Doom 3 freaked me out big when I first played it.
See, that game annoyed me more than anything because of the fact that the flashlight was not stuck to the gun.
Yeah, I know, but at the time it just freaked me out. I didn't know what to expect with it. I just bought it because I was like, oh, Doom, famous. I didn't realise it was survival horror.
And thus began the shitting of knickers.
I attempted playing a game called Outlast as well.
Yeah, I can't do that one.
I love Outlast.
Can't do it.
Absolutely terrifying. Can't do it.
Yeah.
Outlast is one of those ones I've mentioned many times before that me and Hazel like to sit and play horror games together. I say, yep, I play it and she watches, but Outlast was one of those that we enjoyed. We did get the second one. We started it, but we kind of only played an hour or so of it, and it was bad. I think something else took up my time, but I need to get through that, actually.
Yeah.
What about horror films?
I used to love like Nightmare on Elm Street and stuff like that when I was a kid.
Classics.
Not a big horror guy, to be honest, but I actually really like Aliens. I think that's fantastic.
Aliens isn't horror. The first one is.
It is classed as horror.
It's an action film. Now
More
the first one,
than the
first one,
yeah.
I was going to bring up that's probably one of my favorite horror films.
His
I would
first
go
one's
with
brilliant,
Event Horizon.
Oh,
That's
The woman in black terrified me. It was horrible.
I thought Amityville Horror was good. I remember watching that. Don't know if any of you seen that one.
No, that was another one my brother used to love. He used to love.
Are you talking about the original or the remake?
The original.
The Shining. Now that's a good film.
Oh god, that's terrifying.
Yeah, 'cause I like that one because it's like I said, I like the psychological things to it. I don't really get off on like the Saw type stuff.
No.
It's like body shock gore, isn't it, really? It's like gore horror.
Zach Foley, Daniel, how's it going with Castlevania Requiem? I know you bought it day one and have been playing it nonstop since it came out last week, right? Right?
You know what? I probably would have if Red Dead hadn't came out.
Chad Hager.
I think we might be revisiting it for the show at some point,
Maybe. Chad Hager. So the first weapon you get in this game is by far the most used, and I would argue the best weapon for the game. I have a hard time thinking of any other game like that. You guys got any thoughts? Maybe the shotgun in Doom, but it is not the absolute first weapon. Just find it interesting and pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
The bow and arrow in the Tomb Raider reboot is probably the best weapon in the game.
The metal blades from Mega Man 2.
God.
That's not the first weapon. You get the Mega Buster.
It's the first different weapon you get.
Probably
that's not the first weapon, then, is it?
Lara Croft's first two pistols in the original.
Only because you can't find any fucking ammo for anything else.
Dante,
Yeah, exactly.
Dante's pistols in Devil May Cry.
Yeah.
Portal gun from Portal.
Usually if there's a default gun with unlimited ammo, it will get used more.
Unlimited ammo.
Dalton put in the pistol from Halo 1. I remember that thing being cheap as shit because you could snipe across the map with that thing.
Oh yeah, that's
Such
a
a
good
cheap ass gun.
I haven't played much Halo.
That original Halo is really good. We should play that sometime.
The next question, Dan C. Gilbert. How many times did you each vomit during the game out of excitement or sheer horror? Well, Dan vomited out of his butt.
I didn't.
Yeah, right.
Some of it made me grimace. Like when you're in a room full of, when you're kind of overwhelmed, and you're just like stamping and meleeing out of sheer horror.
So I didn't mention this. I loved those rooms because I used the Ripper. I didn't upgrade it much, but I loved how the Ripper would just fire a blade out in front of you and hover, and you just spin in a circle and cut limbs off and just make a bloody mess.
Yeah.
The Ripper was a great gun.
That was my fourth gun.
Next question. Brian Ha, have you guys played any other games that had an immersive HUD like Dead Space?
The Getaway.
Now, I was thinking of this. Metroid Prime is a good example.
Yep.
So the HUD is on Samus's helmet.
Would you
really?
argue that the Pip-Boy from Fallout is immersive?
Maybe. Do you guys remember the whole thing with the Getaway when there wasn't a HUD? Like, it was
No.
a big deal at the time. Really?
Oh, yeah, because it had the indicators for the car.
the car would
And you got
indicate.
hopelessly lost all the time.
Yeah.
What? What's this? Sorry?
It was a
The Getaway was like basically GTA in London
Yeah.
for the PS2. And instead of having radar, it would direct you down the streets by using the indicators of the car.
What? It's mental.
Yeah, it was
But
really
it didn't
interesting.
work right at all, and you would just get lost.
Great.
Yeah, and then when you'd reach the destination, it would look like your hazards were on. It was a really interesting idea, and they never had any health indicator or ammo or anything like that. It was just he would start staggering around if you were low on health, and you'd have to lean against a wall for a bit of time, and then the blood patches on his clothes would just
I
back to
suppose
normal again.
to an extent, Resident Evil's like this as well because they limp around and things. And
Yeah.
what else was I thinking of? The Metro games, they kind of have an immersive HUD, I think.
Destiny
you can just
had
watch
it.
and things like that.
I suppose in some ways, only some ways, the one from Metal Gear Solid 5 is a little bit immersive as well, isn't it? When you pull up out the thing, but not really. 'cause
Oh,
I suppose it takes
here's
two.
one. Mirror's Edge.
Oh yeah. I liked that
'Cause,
game.
it uses like color prompts throughout the world.
Yeah. I liked that game, the original. It was alright.
Never played the sequel.
No, it didn't do very well, I think. So I think that's it for Mirror's Edge.
Rob Strom. Not my question, but it's a good one. Would love to hear your thoughts. He posted something that says, I just purchased a complete in-box Dreamcast identical to the one I got as a birthday gift in 99. Really brought back some memories. What are your favorite Dreamcast games, and what are some things you like about the console itself?
I haven't played much Dreamcast, so I can't really comment.
Me either. I don't think I've ever played a Dreamcast.
What?
What? It's a great system.
Shit, son, I'll bust mine out when you're here.
I remember the controllers being very comfortable.
I love the controller. That set the stage for
Yeah.
the next Xbox, or the first Xbox controller.
Yeah.
The VMU was awesome. How you could link them together in like this really awkward, non-flexible, long rectangle and play competitive games against each other on the little screens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my brother still has his. He used to play it.
I have a
Right,
bag of
until I
like
left.
10 VMUs.
He got some great games. San Francisco Rush.
I didn't play a ton of it as a kid, though. I mean, the only thing I really remember is Crazy Taxi and Skies of Arcadia.
Shenmue. Grandia.
Shenmue.
If you, for when we're over, Eric, if you're going to bust a Dreamcast out, if you can get WWF Royal Rumble, I've heard that's good.
Is it?
No, if
Which
you like
one?
wrestling, I guess. WWF. It's the only wrestling game on the Dreamcast. It's called WWF Royal Rumble. You get that for me to play, I'll be happy.
Is it as good as WWF Attitude?
Attitude was brilliant.
It's just going to be a wrestling
SmackDown
weekend.
Here Comes the Pain.
No,
for
it's
PS2.
not.
No,
Comes Pain
or
is great.
No Mercy on the N64 was good.
Yeah, I've never played that. I've heard it's so good.
I do remember
It
that
probably
one.
isn't now.
It's really good. Yeah, you should try that one sometime.
Gentlemen, do you remember a joke I made at the beginning of the show about credit? It comes full circle
Maybe.
because we're playing our next game. Doesn't it have some stupid title in the UK with credit in the title?
No, it's Canis
Oh.
Canem Edit.
Oh.
Canis Canem Edit.
Close, credit, edit, same damn thing. Joke is close enough. A swing and
Joke has failed.
kinda
Joke
hit.
has failed.
no, next we're going to tackle a Rockstar game that I never played.
Me either.
Bully!
Oh. I'm
The
excited.
powers
to
and
play
be
this.
over in Europe decided bully was too much of a bad name to have for our young ears and called it Canis Canem Edit instead.
Which most people probably didn't play then because they're like, oh, that sounds like a dumb game.
I think it did quite well over here, to be fair.
I don't know anything about this game other than you beat people up.
It's really good. I'm excited for you guys to play it.
We should probably
Ooh,
start
this
tackling
a Tom Reagan recommendation.
This
A
one's
Reagan
not here for the next
recommendation.
one.
it. Yeah, everyone's going to be here, right?
No,
I'll
I'm not.
be here.
I'm off for the
Goodness.
next show.
Okay, well.
Just give you that little taste of Tyson for one show. There you go, gallivanting off again.
Ooh, I was wondering what that bad taste in my mouth was. It tasted a bit
Definitely
like
not
hair.
potato.
The Secret Santa has gone out. For anybody who decided they wanted to be a part of that, I have randomly selected people and sent you a little PDF document with the person you have and what they like. So I think I'm going to make a post.
Please don't send them a poo in a box.
I think I'm going to put up a post on the Facebook page where if you're part of this, you can like leave a comment or something if you think about something else that you like or that you're into. That way your Secret Santa can read that and get more ideas without giving away who they are and saying, oh, hey, what do you like? I want to get you something. So I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be a good turnout.
Yeah.
Anybody who gets something, please take a picture of it and put it on the community.
Did I get that guy who gave me the really bad review?
The really bad what?
That really bad
Review.
personal review that I got.
Oh, Gamer Grandpa.
That's him, yeah. Gamer Grandpa 36.
Just send him a
Yes,
30-minute.
many turds in a box are winging their way to you as we speak.
Send him a 30-minute video of you screaming. Oh, God.
It's just going to be a box.
God.
Mike gets with a little note inside it that says 1 out of 5. You are shit.
Just for the record, if that guy does still listen to the show, I mean, he said to stop listening when I joined. But if you do, I am only joking. Don't take it offensively.
Yeah, we love reviews. Just like more positive ones, please.
Yeah, if you haven't left us a review, give us one because we haven't gotten any in a while.
We like
if you haven't got iTunes, download it and give us a review.
Yeah.
it.
I saw there was one fella who's left us a comment on our factory seal website, which got filtered into the back of the website, and we completely missed it. So I'll see if I can find it. Talk amongst yourselves, lads.
It's a shame how hard it is to leave reviews on iTunes. They make it so difficult. You have to log in and then find.
I know, because we know we have a lot of people who listen to this, but
Yeah.
And
it's
you have to
tough.
type something and then press
Yeah, but no one uses
enter.
iTunes anymore.
just
That's
put
the
5
problem.
stars. It was not shit.
Yeah.
That's all you need to do.
But what if it was shit?
So, a guy called Leo said he loves the podcast. Love the podcast, fellas. Always listen to it on my way to work. Daily shot of fun and nostalgia. My formative years were 85 to 95. I played a lot of ZX Spectrum, NES, SNES, Mega Drive, and 3DO. Since then, I follow games from a distance, but I'm always going back to good old 8 to 16-bit. Keep it up. Leo is a Brazilian and currently living in London, UK.
Well, Leo,
Oh,
I love
I'm
you
sorry.
too.
No, you
As
don't.
do we.
And I'm sorry people there aren't as friendly as Brazilians.
Yes, as we all are aware, London is shite.